Holy Land, Mariejwa, the group's restoration has been liquidated. Most of the Thien Long Non group died, the rest were tied up, waiting for the results of the handling. Only one Pangu citadel remained, standing firmly, still unattacked. Do not attack Pangu City. Kaido turned around and answered Sengoku's question. It's not time yet. Remember what Red Hair said. The prophecy 800 years ago. Go to Raftel first, then overthrow the celestial dragons. I feel like we need to follow this prophecy a little. How strong him is now, no one knows. Maybe very weak, I can handle it now. Maybe so strong, I want to be inside the car flip. Still should first use strength, increase as much as possible, then go. Be careful not to have bad luck. If we stay in Pangu City, will we be counterattacked? Sengoku asked. I'm sure it won't come out. Kaido said he hasn't shown up yet, so he probably can't leave Pangu City first. Surround Pangu City and lock him up. Sengoku was stunned. It turns out that this is the reason why the last remaining celestial dragon has never appeared before. Want to go to Raftel? Red Hair also came closer and asked, we haven't found the last traffic signs. They might have been placed by Gorosei in Pangu City. Right inside Pangu City, Kaido nodded. So we... Red Hair was stunned. Didn't say, don't attack Pangu City first. If you don't attack Pangu City, how do you get the traffic sign? Kaido at this time took out the Gorosei-related traffic sign memory like a photo and gave it to Red Hair. Memo no me indeed. Red Hair people all were terrified. The biggest reaction was Charlotte Lin. Isn't this her fruit child? How could Kaido also have one? No time to explain. Kaido also didn't want to explain the real situation related to Memo no mi, in short. Let Robin analyze the traffic sign content above. We're going to Raftel. Okay, Red Hair received the Gorosei's memories, his heart beating wildly. To what extent did Memo no mi really want to develop, to be able to turn a memory into a photo? These celestial dragons, how to deal with them? Sengoku now asked Kaido for his opinion. Listen. Kaido looked towards the group of lucky survivors of the heavenly dragons who were tied up. Even though they were captured, they were still high and mighty, very talkative. We are the descendants of the Creator. You guys quickly release us, otherwise the Creator will be furious. You guys are all created by the Creator, serving the Creator's descendants. Your current actions are treason. These great roars of heavenly dragons and humans come from their inner belief in their own nobility. Kaido coldly looked over these celestial dragons, then said, distribute them to each kingdom. Let the commoners decide. This is indeed a good measure. It can let the people have more participation in this war, and can also eliminate the shadow left in people's hearts by the past of the heavenly dragons. Sengoku slowly nodded, very much in agreement with this plan. The common people will not be able to place the heavenly dragons at any cost. The heavenly dragons' authority will be completely destroyed. In the future there will be no one to fear them. The world will be freed from the heavenly dragon's shadow. Then he ordered to bring the heavenly dragons and humans to different worlds. Especially since the celestial dragons had once oppressed the area, they prioritized sending celestial dragons through. You want to bring the noble heavenly dragon to the hands of those lowly commoners. You guys are defiling the Creator. This is the greatest betrayal of all the creators. The creators of your Creator, the celestial dragon men screamed and howled. They were taken away from the Holy Land and brought to the world of other places, sanctuary. Do not let anyone approach or even enter Pangu City. Kaido reminded, it's very dangerous in here. Let's talk about it when I return from Raftel. Okay, Sengoku nodded. Robin has found it. The Thien Long Non was overthrown, leaving only the Pangu Citadel. He now had no reason not to help Kaido. The four traffic signs above were now perfectly deciphered by Robin. Moreover, he also reported everything he had witnessed over the years to Kaido. Kaido nodded. You can go to any place you want to live. The world will enter an era of peace, and you will be free. Thank you, double quotes. Robin answered like that, then was a bit confused. Is that how it ends, faster than expected? All his life he was running away, depending on others, searching for the main historical text. Now suddenly everything ended. He didn't know what to do next. Until he left the Red Line and met Luffy and the others who came to find her. With these idiots around, it would be good to calmly enter into peace. As for himself, he shouldn't have been given too much responsibility. Do any of you want to go to Raftel with me? People from all over the world can go to the final place, see what exactly is the huge secret treasure that once made countless people run like ducks. Beyond Kaido's expectations, Sengoku Garp, Whitebeard, Red Hair, and the like, the highest level powerhouses, all did not want to go. No one is coming with me. Kaido was surprised. The war has not yet completely ended. Sengoku pointed towards Panga City. We want to stay and guard this place. This is one side of the reason. On the other hand, their interest in Raftel is indeed not very great. Roger once expressed to Whitebeard that he was willing to tell him everything. At that time, it wouldn't have been difficult to take Whitebeard to Raftel, but Whitebeard refused. Not having any interest at all, he cared more about his family. So not everyone is interested in Raftel, especially those who have fought with Roger before. Roger found something. They want to painfully search for it. How embarrassing. Simply express no interest. This way is not inferior to Roger's first class. That's good, Kaido nodded and said. However, I have never been to Raftel. Should I have some experienced people to lead the way for me? Rayleigh, Red Hair, or Buggy won't let me be a headless fly to find them. Right, you are right. Looks like, if I go again, Rayleigh and Red Hair responded. Especially Rayleigh, he is Roger's vice captain. The two of them became friends to conquer the Grand Line. He is very experienced. How to find the final destination? We'd better ride the King of Hell forward. Rayleigh said. The Euro-Jackson ship, however, almost sank at sea. Only a large ship like Hades could have sailed forward unimpeded. Isn't the Heavenly King faster? Kaido asked. Hearing that, Rayleigh shook his head. If it's in the sky, Raftel won't be found. If it's flying close to the sea, the Heavenly King is no match for the Underworld King. That's right. Kaido nodded, and the group sat on Hades, just arrived. Heard about Buggy using the miraculous battle record of using the Underworld King to deal with the three great Dragon Kings. So strong, Kaido was completely surprised. Knowing that Buggy's luck attribute is strong, he felt secure in giving him command of the Underworld King, but he didn't expect him to create a miracle beyond imagination. Then it's been a hard day for you. Continue to command the ship, Captain Buggy. Kaido said. Next, we go to the final destination, Raftel, for traffic signs leading to 4 islands. And at the place where the islands intersect is the mysterious Raftel. These 4 islands are very far apart, with other islands and mainlands separating them. Even if ordinary people were to reach these island traffic signs, it would be very difficult to connect them with the island traffic signs. At the same time, among these 4 traffic sign islands, 2 are difficult to call islands. An island is just a small sand dune that will not sink. Normal people sailing to this place most likely will miss it after 2 glances. Another island, definitely at the bottom of the water, and also not an ordinary island, just a few rocks piled up at the bottom of the sea. Anyone who approaches this place will not consider it an island, nor will they think it has any meaning. This is the reason why traffic signs are necessary. Even if you walk around every corner of the ocean and look at the traffic signs along the island 1,000 times, it would still be difficult to recognize it. The 4 island traffic signs have all been found. Rayleigh relied on the memory of that year. At this moment said, next, we will go to Raftel. And the danger, actually, only starts from now. Very dangerous, Kaido asked. At least in my memory, it was very dangerous. Rayleigh replied, the way to Raftel is extremely difficult. The first place we want to find is the door where Joy Boy stayed back then. Door, Kaido heard this concept for the first time. That's right, the door, Rayleigh nodded and said. It could be a type of devil fruit ability, or it could be another reason ... In short, when we go towards the intersection of the four islands, we will enter a piece of fog, followed by a storm. Countless seekings and giant waves. Back then, our ship was almost covered in the sea ... And we, no matter what, cannot pass through this fog. The mist cannot be penetrated. Raftel is not in the heart of the mist, Kaido asked. All are completely new concepts and imaginable situations. Yes, not in a daze, Rayleigh continued. Even if we sail in this fog for 100 years, nothing will change. We even suspect that we were led here by some force and are surrounded by the fog, in short. There are only 3 possibilities for entering the fog. The first is to be forever lost in this fog, forever unable to leave. The second is the ship sank. Everyone drowned in the mist in the sea area. The last possibility is to find the door where Joy Boy left behind. As long as we pass through that door, we can leave the mist and head toward a completely new part of the sea. There are calm winds and calm waves, without any danger. In this calm sea area, if you sail for a while, you will arrive at Raftel ... and that place is the last world. Kaido slowly nodded, his expression somewhat serious. It sounds very mysterious. It's not a simple situation. But this time, we should not be in any danger, Rayleigh continued. Sit on this super battleship Hades. We are in the misty sea area. Nothing will happen. Moreover, there is also Sea King here. He can order the Sea King there not to attack us. We go to Raftel. It should not be difficult. This is the truth. Based on the nautical chart inside, the traffic signs intersected the azimuth. The navigator led the Mingwan to Raftel's location. Sure enough, when they were about to approach the Raftel Sea area, countless mists appeared around the void, clearly above a second. Looking towards this place, it was still a piece of calm wind and waves, waiting for the real approach. The sea area would be 2 sets of faces. The sky was instantly covered by dark clouds. Thunder and lightning struck, heavy rain fell, and a strong wind swept away. On the sea also rose up huge waves, clawing at the King of Hell. If it was an ordinary boat, it would have been smashed by a huge wave. However, the King of Hell was huge and sturdy, so it was fine. Next to the bottom of the sea, on time appeared many giants seeking ghosts. The mist also makes people's vision become smaller and smaller. Finally, don't say look towards the sea. Even if I reach out my hand in front of my eyes, I can't see it. Completely blocked by the mist. Good big fog. I suddenly can't see. Is there someone around? Why is there suddenly no vision and no sound? The King of Hell on the battleship. The people on the boat were shocked at this moment. They watched helplessly as the dark mist came, completely devouring them. They couldn't even see the people within arm's reach. The distance was terrifyingly small. This kind of incident is very difficult for them not to panic. Everybody stay awake, Rayleigh's voice at this moment broke through the mist. Spreading out on the ship, everyone, don't be afraid. This mist can block the eyes and sounds, making people panic. Actually, there is no threat at all. Everyone sit down. Don't be afraid. Don't make a fuss, then everything will be fine. After a while, leave the mist, then everything will be normal, really. Everyone heard this sound and immediately felt a little relieved. Just now, they couldn't see anyone or hear any sound. I am Hades Rayleigh, Pirate King Roger's assistant, and I once conquered this sea together with him. Rayleigh introduced himself. Everyone was shocked for a moment, then completely calmed down. Roger, the vice captain that year, he said that the fog was not threatening enough. That must be true. Everyone became more and more sober, obediently sat in place, crossed their legs and waited. I'll take the wheel. Rayleigh now walked into Buggy's place. The most important thing is to find that door. I have experience. I remember the condition of that door. Ancient weapons of the King of Hell in the Misty Sea area began to sail everywhere. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, still wandering around in the mist, still unable to find that door. On the contrary, along the way, many people are lost in this place, forever lost in this big boat. These ships are all made of refined grain. Their owners were all once famous people on the vast ocean. That's why they were able to build such expensive ships that have not sunk in the vast waves of the sea. These ships, Roger and I have investigated a little. Rayleigh noticed Kaido's gaze at this moment and immediately introduced. We discovered that they were all great figures from each era who had intentionally or unintentionally entered this place 800 years ago. Among them, there are some. Even though they have been dead for hundreds of years, their corpses still exude a powerful and intimidating force. Roger and I both believe that if this person were alive, even if we joined forces, we would not be his match after 800 years. In this vast ocean, countless strong people were born. Double quotes. They finally tried to conquer this piece of misty sea, going towards the end of the world. Unfortunately, they were all unsuccessful and lost here. In the end, they ran out of supplies on the ship and died. Roger and I, back then, also had some doubts that we would be like those former sea kings, trapped and killed in this sea. Double quotes. But our ship is still not like the ships of these strong people. It cannot sink for hundreds of years. At the bottom of the sea, who knows how many strong people have died and filled the sea. Fortunately, in the end, perhaps fate took care of us. We survived. We successfully found that door, heading towards Raftel Sea area. We are lucky, also enlightened miracle people. Therefore, Roger is completely worthy, the Pirate King 800 years. Indeed enough to give birth to countless strong people. Who would have thought that they would all end up here? Kaido looked over the sea filled with ancient ships and couldn't help but shake his head in admiration. Can be built in this kind of sea area, all ships will not sink for hundreds of years. Being dead for hundreds of years, the corpse still intact made Roger and Rayleigh feel scared. When alive, he must have been very close to invincible in any era. He would be the strongest person besides the celestial dragons. In the end, he could only die on the way to Raftel, most likely without anyone knowing. Joy Boy, shut up. These kind of peak era characters, what kind of power do they possess? Go towards Raftel, everything should be answered. At sea, sail for 2 days, same as 3 days ago, nothing special. Kaido also received, after killing Gorosei, the branch mission reward. The rewards and previous rewards are basically the same. First is the devil fruit with holes, the devil fruit with free gift wrapping, and the devil fruit with upgrade card. Because the Gorosei were wiped out, the reward was doubled, so it was actually all the same. Gives a regeneration ability. Kaido can restore % of his status every second, including his health. 3 or 4 seconds can restore peak state. As long as the enemy can't deal with Kaido within 3 seconds, then it means he will never be able to deal with Kaido. There is also an immunity ability. All special attacks, such as fire, ice, poison, mental attacks, etc. Kaido can be immune to them all. Only physical attacks, slashing Kaido to death and smashing him to death, can bring about results immunity is equivalent to. Reverse Logia Fruit A. Kaido later obtained this ability, and judged Logia-type fruits are immune to physical damage. And I am immune to special Logia-type damage, not immune to physical damage. Recovery plus immunity. Kaido increases his strength across the board. The branch reward mission is not over yet. Randomly select Ancient Weapons X to part reward. Kaido can now receive the ancient weapon, together last. Branch mission reward inside. The heaviest reward is the first reward. Invincible ability experience card X, but double family. To part reward, Kaido gets the champion ability test card. Can the double meaning. Kaido's defense power can reach invincible X. All other abilities can also reach at least Invincible X. What is this concept, Kaido, is also unclear. In short, I only know that I am currently strong to an abnormal extent, strong to an extremely exaggerated extent. The boat ride through the Misty Sea lasted 2 days. Originally it was just an ordinary day. Suddenly, "Go straight through the gate and find it," Rayleigh suddenly burst out. His voice full of surprise. "Joy Boy left that door, found it. We can go to Raftel, finally found it." Kaido immediately stood up and looked over. "Quickly go through this door, this door. On the left and right sides are straight into the horizon stone pillars, reminiscent of Optimus Prime. But between the doors, it was impossible to see the scene on the other side. It was blocked by a flashing purple light. When the ancient weapon of the King of Hell approached this door, he looked up into the sky and could not see the top of this door. First, it was too high, and second, it was covered by layers of endless mist. Super Battleship, through purple, through the door left by Joy Boy, went to another place, just like Rayleigh said before. The giant wave disappeared, the storm stopped. The mist that blocked the view also disappeared in a flash. Everyone went to a calm sea area, looked back. Behind him, as far as the eye could see, was the calm sea. Beyond that, the door was nowhere to be seen, and the Misty Sea area was also nowhere to be seen, as if it had never existed. The Misty Sea area that they had experienced for several days now seemed like a nightmare. The group finally woke up from the nightmare. The mist disappeared. We go through the fog. Finally passed through the fog. These past few days have been too oppressive. I also don't want to continue to experience it again. The people on the boat at this moment survived the accident touchingly. Then, everyone noticed the surrounding scene, once again discussing loudly. "Strange, what place is this? Never been to this sea before. It looks very strange. Has someone been here?" "No, it's too calm. The weather is too good. No wind or waves, no islands, no sea king. There's also no firepower. The war is filled with smoke and the smell of blood, a completely foreign sea area." On the ancient weapon of the King of Hell, there were tens of thousands of people, but at this moment, no one showed that they knew this sea area. Above a second is the nightmare of the Misty Sea. A second later it was just like that. The contrast is so great that it suddenly causes some people to start thinking in strange directions. "Wait a minute, aren't we dead and now in another world?" This just said makes many people shiver because it makes so much sense. There is no reason why he suddenly came from the Misty Sea to this peaceful sea. No trace of him can be seen in any direction. He is probably dead and his soul has passed through. Fuck, we're going to die just like this. I am not willing. In the bloody battle with the 3 great dragon kings, we all won and were lucky to survive. Now, for no reason, we die in the storm. This is too unwilling. Governor Kaido, Mr. Rayleigh, Mr. Red Hair, Captain Buggy, what place is this? The crew was shocked and looked towards the big shots on the ship. Even if the crowd died, it's not like even Kaido and his group of big shots are dead, right? At everyone's expectation waiting in the middle. Rayleigh answered the crowd's question. "Stay awake, you're not dead." These words made the crowd feel relieved. Rayleigh then continued. "This place is the final sea area. Roger mentioned the final place back then. The great treasure, One Piece, Raftel, is all in this sea area. At most, we can sail for another day and we will be there. The final sea, the final land, One Piece right here. Here we come, One Piece." There was a commotion on the boat. The great pirate era opened so many years. Countless people ran like ducks, running towards the sea. Caused, wasn't it, when Roger was executed that year, talking about the great secret treasure One Piece, so many years passed. From beginning to end no one came to find. Everyone also suspected that this was nothing more than a conspiracy, a strange joke that Roger had played on the world before he died. Who would have thought that now, under the leadership of Governor Kaido and his group, the group would want to approach the final destination? Simple as a dream, you can't go to the island now. Kaido then reminded the crowd, the situation at Raftel is completely unknown. It is very dangerous up there. After I investigate and confirm that there is no threat, I will soon open a path leading to Raftel. In the future, this place will be turned into a scenic area, and people from all over the world can come here to visit. The crowd was amazed. Bring this whole world to run after like the last duck. This just want to come. Isn't it conquering the world? Isn't it like Pirate King Island, making the scenic area public for sightseeing? This great work, even Governor Kaido can do it. Let people reminisce about the sea area. Remember that I did indeed follow Captain Roger to this area of the sea area before. But because of my experience in the Misty Sea area, my body was not comfortable and I did not end up on the island. Buggy looked around, and countless past memories appeared. Red hair at that time also because of staying to take care of Buggy, and did not go to the island. It took less than a day to sail suddenly a building filled with vitality, in the center of which was a giant tree that covered the sky. Its canopy covering the entire island appeared at the end of the field of vision. Rayleigh was stunned, then immediately opened his mouth in surprise and said, "Raftel, come." The people on the boat were all curiously looking at the end of the island after the Great Pirate era. The whole world searched for decades but still could not find Raftel, but this island right in front of them. Right before your eyes, like an illusion. What is on the island? Kaido asked Rayleigh's side. Hearing that, Rayleigh shook his head. I think you need to see this yourself. Because back then we only came to the island as ordinary outsiders, not as Joy Boy. The content we saw might be very different treatment area. Kaido was surprised, of course. Rayleigh naturally nodded, agreeing with this theory. It was because we weren't Joy Boys before, so we could only simply visit some of the things Joy Boys left behind. Only the real Joy Boys could use this island to bring about huge changes. Kaido, let's go. We'll wait for you on the boat. Red Hair said, you are Joy Boy. This island has been waiting for you for 800 years. Okay, Kaido nodded. Turning to look towards the legendary Raftel, his eyes glanced at the giant tree that covered the entire island. Kaido's entire body turned white, using the Nika fruit to awaken and become the sun god. His two arms stretched out endlessly, grabbing a tree on the island. Kaido's arms shortened, carrying his body's movement and flying towards the island. Raftel is like the previous Misty Sea area. From a distance it looks like one. Up close, it's another story. From a distance it looks like just a sprawling island. Only when in close contact will one discover that this place is not just full of life, it is simply a jungle world, a paradise on earth, where countless elves that cannot be seen from afar live. These little elves are all only the size of a palm, humanoid in shape, with pointed ears, pointed hats on their heads, masks on their faces. And they usually hold a branch in their hands, and when they walk, they hop around, and the branch in their hands will also sway, emitting all kinds of light. When encountering danger, they will crash into trees, soil, and walls, leaving behind a phantom light, then disappear without a trace. This is clearly a small world, with the jungle as the main world. Kaido enters the island later. Someone from the outside is coming. Hurry up and report to the clan leader. Go find the patriarch, go find the patriarch. The group of little spirits were terrified, jumping around in all directions and attacking, leaving behind a flash of light before disappearing. What are these little spirits? Kaido was surprised. Little humans, elves. Why would Raftel live like this bunch of little guys? I didn't think that I would encounter such a strange situation when I arrived on the island. Kaido looked around a bit. There are forests everywhere. There is only one end of the mirror. Don't know where it leads. Whether on the sand or in the jungle or along the dark path, one can see devastation or half-buried ruins. On these desolate ruins, one can see many strange sculptures, which seem to be some kind of religious, such as sacrifices. It feels like there used to be a temple here, But later the temple collapsed, the debris scattered all over the island, and later, under the influence of time, was buried by vegetation and sand, making this island covered with a layer of mystery. Shun Yukin continued to go inside. I. Suddenly, a loud voice rang out in front of Kaido. Just met their underground, jumping out a dark-colored little spirit. Normally, elves are green, but this is the first time I've seen a dark-colored elves. The dark-colored little elf appeared, displaying a sophisticated posture, standing on one leg, raising both arms to the sides, like some kind of eagle spreading its wings type move. Knock. The dark-colored elf changed its move, changing it to stand upright on its front and back legs, its hands clenched into fists. One hand raised above its head, the other hand placed on the left and right of its waist. Knock, knock, knock. The dark-colored little spirit changed its move again. The branch in its hand was summoned out of thin air under a flash of illusory light. It grabbed the two ends of the branch with both hands. The branch turned into a double-sectioned staff. It desperately waved it in front of them, simultaneously emitting consecutive cries. And while it was swinging the double-sectioned staff, its expression was extremely serious and confident, as if it was confidently suppressing Kaido. Clan leader, please be merciful. This is too cruel. The opponent will scare you, even if he is an outsider. He is not necessarily a bad person. It is not good to scare him. How cruel. I dare not look. Around the trees and soil, at this moment, countless elves rushed over. They were terrified. Many elves covered their eyes and trembled. There were also elves flusteredly trying to persuade the dark elves not to use the double-sectioned staff to continue scaring outsiders. The dark-colored elf waved its double-sectioned staff again, then stopped its move. The double-sectioned staff naturally drooped down, swaying slightly. Okay then. The dark-colored little elf heard the advice, and at this moment puffed out his chest and raised his head, looking arrogantly at Kaido and saying, "Outsider, are you afraid?" Kaido was stunned. Add to that the group of little elves around, just now said words of advice. Only now did I realize that this dark-colored little elf in front of me was just threatening me. If it didn't say anything, Kaido would probably never realize this. At this moment, Kaido, with a face of shock, understood the sound of awe. Originally, he was threatened by himself. Finally understood the dark little spirit's meaning. "I'm going to find Joy Boy's museum," Kaido said, stating his intention. That's what I can't let you see." Hearing this, the dark-colored little elf immediately widened his eyes. Sweat started to appear on his head. He was very anxious and angry, and said, "The things Joy Boy asked us to protect can only be shown to Joy Boy. What an impolite outsider." Why can I see Joy Boy's things? Where are the bad guys? No way, you can't make such rude requests. The elves seemed to have reached an agreement with Joy Boy, wanting to protect the things left behind by Joy Boy, and not allowing outsiders to even look. Hearing that, Kaido asked, "Then why can Roger see Roger? Who is Roger?" Roger, the group of little elves, at this moment, looked at each other in doubt. Their heads seemed to be a bit overloaded, and they started shaking, obviously trying to grasp this name, but had no relevant memories, and did not know Roger. "You don't know Roger," Kaido said doubtfully. "It's just a guy with a black beard and wearing a red cloak." Said, also used hand compared under beard shape, see. The little elves seemed to have some kind of premonition. You idiot. You said stupid, Mr. Idiot. So nostalgic, long ago silly mister. The little elves group made a rumble and recognized it. Kaido was stunned again. Roger is being called Mr. Stupid here. What is that guy's personality? Luffy number 2. Mr. Stupid is different. Mr. Stupid is the only one allowed by the king of the ancestral tree to visit the Joy Boy Museum. The dark-colored elf said at this moment, although Joy Boy said that the things he left behind cannot be seen by outsiders, but since the Ancestral Tree King's adults are talking, we can only listen. We absolutely will not let outsiders see again. Where is the Tree King's nest? Perhaps it will allow me to visit as well, Kaido inquired. Want to meet the Ancestral Tree King? The dark-colored little elf shook his head at this moment. Lord Ancestral Tree King, not everyone can meet him. You need to have the ability to listen to the sounds of all things. Yes, you need to have the ability to listen to the sounds of all things. Then the Ancestral Tree King will tell you whether you can see the Ancestral Tree King or not. The Ancestral King is probably talking to you right now, but you can't hear him. Listen to the sounds of all things. Listen to the sounds of all things. The Little Spirits group this moment reenacted the dark Little Spirits' words. Kaido could not help but be stunned. Listen to the sounds of everything. In the pirate world, special abilities are extremely rare. Roger has them, Luffy has them, and legend has it that Roger relied on this ability to eventually conquer the Grand Line and become the Pirate King. The original listening to all sounds key role after going to Raftel Island. If we can hear the words of the Ancestral Tree King, we can proceed to the next step. I do not have the ability to listen to the sounds of all things. Kaido helplessly shook his head. There are no other methods. Other methods? Oh no, right, everyone. The Little Spirits thought for a moment at Kaido's question, then looked at each other. They weren't sure if listening to the sounds of all things was the only way. Dark Spirit, at this moment thought of something. There is a way. You are Joy Boy, then you can. Although Joy Boy has the ability to listen to the sounds of all things, but does not have this kind of ability, Joy Boy is also Joy Boy. Yes, Joy Boy can do it. No matter what Joy Boy transforms into, he is still Joy Boy. Without any abilities, he can still see the Ancestral Tree King. Joy Boy can do it. The elves group repeated and supplemented the Dark Elf's words. It seems that the Dark Elf has a very high patriarchal authority. Listen, Kaido immediately said, I am Joy Boy. Your Joy Boy immediately scared these little spirits. Their bodies jumped up, or were scared to the point of leaning back. And some of the little elves that were shaking left and right also stood motionless in that tilted position. The group of little spirits seemed to be petrified in an instant, looking at Kaido. You can't be Joy Boy. The dark-colored elf, sweat pouring from his body, denied and said Joy Boy, but he is a big idiot, not as fierce as you, not as tall as you. It is the idiot mister who is as stupid as Melon, idiot. You are different from Joy Boy. You don't have any traces of Joy Boy. You're not Joy Boy, no. The little spirits desperately denied. Absolutely not admitting Kaido is Joy Boy's ability, yes. Kaido was surprised and asked, hearing you say that, it seems like you have met Joy Boy himself. Yes, the dark-colored elf immediately nodded proudly and said, I was standing on Joy Boy's shoulder and fighting side by side with him. We met when we were still living in One Piece Kingdom. Joy Boy told me that he would return and that we would take good care of his things and wait for him to return. We waited for Mr. Idiot, but he wasn't Joy Boy. What a pity. We waited for you. But you're not even like Joy Boy. That's right. We are the light elves of the clan who are hanging around Joy Boy. Of course we've met Joy Boy. That stupid idiot still wanted to catch me, but failed. Cackle, ha ha. These little sprites in language revealed quite a lot of information. Kaido just digested this news and couldn't help but be stunned for a long time. The first thing that can be determined is that these little elves have lived for at least 800 years. Roger used this name to lure people from all over the world to the sea, opening the Great Pirate Era. Everyone considered One Piece to have Roger's entire treasure, great secret treasure. And great treasure, the current results are known from the mouths of the little elves. So One Piece was once the name of a kingdom, Joy Boy, that giant kingdom name. Roger asked everyone to search for the great secret treasure. Was it the great kingdom of that year? And these little elves in front of us, are they circling around Joy Boy, a race of light elves? Hearing the name, one can tell these little elves are not simple. Joy Boy, why do you want to grab me? Kaido looked at a little spirit and asked, did you offend him? Because I'm playing hide and seek with Joy Boy. This little elf replied immediately, Joy Boy couldn't catch me even once. Later, I took the initiative to enter his hands, but he fell asleep, slept so soundly that I couldn't wake him up. The little elf's emotions suddenly became extremely depressed. These little elves' emotions all went down. Kaido read the air and knew that the so-called falling asleep must mean death. Joy Boy was defeated and killed. These little spirits intended to wake him up. Good, Kaido continued. Regardless of whether I am Joy Boy or not, you all should know this devil fruit of mine, right? Nika fruit, sun god Nika, show off a little. Nika fruit various effects. The little spirits group were born with a sense of smell. Joy Boy, Joy Boy is back. Joy Boy, we miss you so much. The group of elves suddenly recovered from their depression and became emotional. Some elves even hung down branches in their hands and raised their heads, crying. It can be seen that they have very deep feelings for Joy Boy. The dark-colored little elf looked at Kaido in shock for a while, then desperately shook his head. That's not right. Although Joy Boy has the ability, but you are not Joy Boy. That's not right. That's not right. Kaido could understand. This dark-colored elf denied. Because normally speaking, Joy Boy is Luffy. He has a Joy Boy goofy personality. There is also Joy Boy fruit power. Also has the ability to listen to the sounds of all things. He entered Raftel, and would definitely be able to immediately join these little elves, jumping and cheering, being called Mr. Idiot or Joy Boy by the little elves, and brought to the Tree King's nest. Roger also had the Joy Boy personality before, and the ability to listen to the sounds of all things, but unfortunately he was still lacking in the ability to eat fruits. So in the end he could only leave with regret. Kaido relied on the system, commonly known as hacking, to achieve a bunch of conditions. Of course it would bring disharmony to the little spirits. No matter what, in short, I awakened the sun god Nika's ability. Kaido said, although I don't have the ability to hear the sounds of all things, I'm not like Joy Boy. But seeing that I have the same ability as Joy Boy, take me to the place where the ancestral Tree King is. The little elves were stunned. They looked at each other, like wondering, hesitating. Corn, the dark-colored elves' bodies were shaking at this moment, as if these little elves would shake their bodies whenever they thought about something. On the contrary, it was normal. They were only the size of a palm. Their heads were definitely very small. Thinking about how complicated a problem was difficult for them. It seems like there's a reason. Shouldn't I agree to him? The dark-colored elf, at this moment, was not sure of his intentions, and looked toward the other elf. All the elves fell into thought, absorbing the opinions of the masses. Finally, a little spirit spoke. It's Joy Boy's ability. Answer him. That's right, to be able to awaken the ability, it's not easy. For so many years, no one has awakened his abilities. He is very special. The little spirits each gave their own opinions. The dark-colored little spirit was convinced. It finally hesitated a bit, then raised its head, looking towards Kaido. All right, you follow me, But there is something I want to tell you earlier. Please speak. Kaido smiled. Finally convinced these little elves to take me to find the ancestral Tree King, Lord Ancestral Tree King. One needs to have the ability to listen to the sounds of all things in order to communicate. You don't have this kind of ability, so there's no point in going, the dark-colored elf said. Can you hear the voice of the ancestral Tree King? Kaido asked. The dark-colored little elf immediately said arrogantly, of course we can hear it. We are elves born from the adult Tree King. Then it's simple. Kaido said, you guys help me pass on the message to the ancestral Tree King. I have some things I want to discuss with the ancestral Tree King. This one. The dark-colored elf's body stiffened, as if no one had ever made this request before, giving it nightmares. Anyway, Joy Boy and Roger both have the ability to hear all sounds, so there's no need to convey words. This needs the approval of the Ancestral Tree King, the dark-colored elf said. Of course, then I'll ask you to help me consult the Ancestral Tree King's opinion. Kaido said. Okay, the dark elf agreed. Along the mirror continued to go in, the roadside is more and more blurred, gradually entering the state of nothing can be seen clearly. The surrounding area was pitch black and gloomy, as if placing oneself in some terrifying area. But after taking a few more steps, the darkness was instantly chased away, and light shone before his eyes, as if he had crossed two worlds. This place is overgrown with vegetation, and there are many little spirits playing around, and in the center of this area is the giant tree that covers the entire island. It should be the Tree King from the mouth of the little elves. Kaido followed the dark-colored little spirit that appeared here later. This place was crowded with little spirits, immediately jumping up to welcome. The tribe grows back. Who's back from the Long Strip tribe? How to bring foreigners here? The little spirits first welcomed the clan leader, but were then scared by Kaido. There are very few outsiders here. Last time it was Roger, but Roger is not as tall and fierce as Kaido. There is Joy Boy's ability, the dark-colored elf explained. He wants to meet the Ancestral Tree King. Considering that he has Joy Boy's ability, I came to ask the Ancestral Tree King for his opinion. I want to meet the great Tree King, oh, my lord. The elves began to pass on their messages one by one, from the ground. A transmission came on the tree branches. And on this giant tree branch, a giant tree face, at this moment opened its ancient eyes, its huge mouth also opened wide. Master Tuther, wake up. There is an outsider who wants to meet you, Lord Ancestral Tree King, someone with Joy Boy's abilities. The little spirit group transmitted the message. Listen. The ancient eyes of the Ancestral Tree King quickly locked onto Kaido's figure. Alien, who are you? The Ancestral Tree King opened his mouth. A buzzing sound came out, but in Kaido's vision, he couldn't hear the other party's voice. He could only see the Ancestral Tree King's mouth wide open. Still the little spirits group, each one relayed a message for Kaido to hear. The Ancestral Tree King asks who you are, a dark-colored little elf said. BGSSB height, PX. Kaido introduced himself, saying, I ate the Nika fruit, and also awakened. Becoming the sun god Nika, I defeated the Gorosei, and eliminated all the celestial dragons. Besides him, I need to obtain the Raftel treasure, and in larger quantities. Take care of him. If you agree to help, I will be extremely grateful. If you do not agree to help, in order to more likely eliminate him, I can only do something impolite. Kaido also did not simply request the other party. The reason is very simple. In the eyes of the elves, I don't look like Joy Boy. I also don't have the ability to hear the sounds of all things. So they can very well refuse to keep Joy Boy in the museum for themselves. At first a little museum is not important, but Kaido must deal with him. So Raftel above these spirits and the Ancestral Tree King, not willing to help him, that to some extent is considered as silence complicity. Kaido can only be tough, of course will not drop them. Will only use force to rob this place clean. If they agree to help, then of course everything will be resolved peacefully. Kaido will be extremely grateful. Listen. The dark-colored elf was startled and cried out, You are threatening the Ancestral Tree King. Kaido, no need for the little spirits to transmit. The Tree King can hear Kaido's words. Then, Kaido saw the crown tree's mouth twitch. Take it. Kaido beside the dark-colored elf jumped in surprise and asked, You really want it like that, my lord? The crown prince's mouth twitched again. Then close your eyes and close your mouth. Seemed to fall asleep again. What did the Ancestral Tree King say? Kaido asked. The dark-colored little elf turned to look at Kaido and said, The Ancestral Tree King agrees. You can freely visit or take Joy Boy and leave everything behind. So enjoyable, Kaido was surprised. I thought if we chatted for a while. Also thought maybe chased me away. Just didn't think it would go so smoothly. Yes, that's right. The dark-colored elf sighed. The ancestral tree king said you are not Joy Boy. But you can fulfill all of Joy Boy's wishes, so watch with Joy Boy hopefully in the future when Joy Boy returns. Don't blame us. Kaido slowly nodded. I'm not Joy Boy, but I can overthrow the celestial dragons and create a new world. I can do everything that Joy Boy can do similar to Joy Boy. It's very normal. But the ancestral tree king was able to easily see through Kaido's true nature. The ancestral tree king must have special abilities. Follow me. The dark-colored elf said, Lord Ancestral Tree King, I want you to introduce everything. You worked hard, Kaido said, not hard. The dark-colored elf walked towards the depths of the island. Let's start from the beginning. Are you willing to listen, or if you have any questions, I can answer them? Let's start from the beginning. I think we should learn everything, Kaido said. Then let's start talking from the world we were born in. The dark elf said, a long time ago, there was nothing in this world. From the beginning of the world to teach, Kaido choked and stared. Do you still remember the story of the creation of the world? We are the light elves. We can see the past and the future, the dark elf said. The effective prophecies in the world are all given by our race. Kaido was surprised. So 800 years ago, the legend of Joy Boy being resurrected 800 years later, was also the time when the Light Spirit clan predicted the future outcome. A long time ago, there was nothing in the world. The dark-colored elf cooperated with the earth, and continued, until one day, from deep within the universe, a mysterious civilization landed on the moon. The dark-colored elf, not as Kaido expected, said a lot of useless trivial information. It spoke very well to find the main point, so even though it started from the beginning of the lecture, Kaido still listened to it. A long time ago, a space civilization landed on the moon, established a temporary scientific research base, and founded a city on it, leaving behind countless scientific and technological equipment. Then this mysterious civilization, relying on the moon, began to research the Pirate King world planet and used the mysterious civilization's own genes to create a group of humans. These humans are the ancestors of all human communities. Later, mysterious civilizations brought scientific and technological research and inventions into the creation of human civilization. Among them, the most famous, most widely used, and used until now, is the devil fruit. Mysterious civilization created the ancestral tree king. From the ancestral tree king's body, the devil fruit was born and the light spirit race was born. Because the mysterious civilization living on the planet has no sea water, so there is no consideration of the devil fruit's shortcomings in sea water, leading to eating it and turning into a dry duck, which is also the legend of being cursed by the sea. Human civilization, just like that many generations passed down. And the mysterious civilization also confirmed that after creating a stable development of human civilization, it left the Pirate King world, left the moon, and continued to sail deep into the universe. Just like that, straight to more than 1,000 years ago. Civilized humanity has long developed ruling classes. From the beginning all men are equal. Later, based on strength, wealth, power, etc., there were divisions between the upper class and the lower class, between nobles and slaves, over a year ago. There was a person, appearing Joy Boy. He was a liberator, defeated the world's nobles, freed the world's slaves, and created a giant kingdom of equality for all. Because Joy Boy brings liberation, brings countless happy laughter. People call him Joy Fly, Fun Boy, Happy Boy. The transliteration is Joy Boy. Kaido heard that and basically determined Luffy's personality, but Joy Boy, while freeing slaves, was also very benevolent towards the nobles. He did not kill those nobles who oppressed slaves, not even detention. On the contrary, it is believed that the nobles can repent. So for the nobles to choose, it is almost an attitude of abandonment of freedom. He naively thought that after the liberation of all mankind, the world would welcome complete equality. But wait for Joy Boy, again 20 kings rebelled. They secretly gathered a lot of forces, even attracted the Phylon clan, united the whole world, those who do not hope to liberate slaves, hope to rule and enslave all humanity, desire power, wealth and status, together launched a general attack on Joy Boy. In the end, Joy Boy was defeated, the great kingdom was shattered and scattered. 20 kings united to establish a new rule. And after they took control of the whole world, they also received the results of Joy Boy's years of exploration of the truth about the world. 20 kings know about the mysterious civilization on the moon. No, human beings exist, mysterious civilization, known as the Creator. And the 20 kings, who called themselves gods. All of their clansmen were called descendants of the Creator, descendants of gods. From their bloodline, their authority and nobility were guaranteed. But the 20 kings were not all so arrogant. Among them, there was a king who felt that calling himself a god, calling himself a descendant of the Creator, from the bloodline above, was a large part higher than others. This was too extreme, too radical. He could not accept this, so this king left the Holy Land and returned to his kingdom. But the 20 kings inside the conspiracy, he used the power in his hands to continuously search the world for mysterious civilizations and science and technology, and in the end he found a lot. For example, Pang City is one of the scientific and technological remains of a mysterious civilization. There is also a reason why he is immortal and can live until today. He died all the kings, become the supreme, the only god, the celestial dragons, therefore became the most noble bloodline, the descendants of the Creator, naturally superior to all other races. To avoid the true bloodline of the celestial dragon human being discovered. Avoid letting people realize that the so-called nobility of Thien Long Non is just established and forced to be bestowed. BGSSP height. PX also to avoid letting people know there was once 100 years ago, all slaves were freed, everyone was equal. Built empty for 100 years, only left. People divided into nobles and slaves history. Let everyone know, from ancient times to the present, slaves are forever slaves, forever unable to turn around, never without turning around. This made the slaves of the whole world give up the idea of resistance. After all, throughout history, slaves have never been saved, so what can people do now? The rule of the celestial dragons became even more solid. The class is also more solid. So, researching the void for 100 years was considered a threat to rule, the biggest crime. Make people realize, originally people can be equal, slaves can turn around. The whole world gave birth to the idea of resistance. Is this still right? Silent for 800 years. Creating countless tragedies, killing, and killing again. Madly concealing the truth of 100 years of emptiness. The time has come now, 800 years ago, before Joy Boy died. The Light Spirit clan predicted to him that 800 years later Joy Boy would return and the world would be liberated, so Joy Boy finally died laughing. But we know from the prophecy that Joy Boy is not returning now, and is also different from you. The dark-colored elf said this, sighed and said, unless our prediction is wrong. Can't you guys see the past and the future? Why don't we look back and see when Joy Boy will return? Kaido asked, it's not that simple. The dark-colored little elf shook his head. Then we need the help of the Ancestral Tree King. Normally, the Ancestral Tree King will personally look into the past and future. Only in rare cases will he ask us, the Light Elves, for help. Only then can we, the Light Elves, clearly see the past and future. Normally, we can only vaguely feel it. Kaido is transparent. No wonder the Ancestral Tree King was so happy that he allowed Kaido to take away everything Joy Boy had. At the same time, Kaido was able to do everything Joy Boy wanted, because it can predict the future. But the Little Spirits group, without the help of the Tree King, have no way to predict the future, so they can't trust Kaido that deeply. Joy Boy. What is the museum about? Kaido asked. The dark-colored elf led the way in front and said, "There are many. First is this one, an ancient weapon of the Heavenly King. It has been preserved by us for 800 years. Kaido saw in the jungle, buried in the soil, more than half of the ancient Heavenly King's weapon. No wonder the prophecy said that one must first reach Raftel before one can overthrow the celestial dragons. Ancient weapons were not collected. It was really difficult to deal with the celestial dragons. The root cause is here. But Kaido directly received the ancient weapon of the Heavenly King from the system, so he skipped this step. There's also this," the dark-colored elf continued to introduce. "The Temple of the Sun is one of the scientific technologies left behind by the mysterious civilization on the moon. Its effects are similar to those of the Holy Land on Pangu City, and it can even fly." "Can I take it away?" Kaido asked. "Yes, it is possible," the dark-colored elf replied. "Anyway." The ancestral Tree King agreed. "The effect is similar to Pangu City, meaning it can increase strength. I am already invincible. How much higher can I increase it? And this?" Joy Boy left behind the scepter. The dark elf introduced. "With it, we can start the entire moon science and technology. Unfortunately, the biggest problem is how to get to the moon. Even the Temple of the Sun cannot leave this planet. Surviving outside is also a problem." Kaido solemnly accepted the staff. "There is a gem on the top. With it, one can obtain all the science and technology on the moon. Although going to the moon and surviving on the moon are really big problems. Joy Boy probably wouldn't have been able to go back then. Otherwise he wouldn't have lost to the 20 Kings. Oh, it seems like nothing. Those things just now were the most important." The dark-colored elf continued walking forward and said, "There's also this. Previously, Mr. Idiot and his gang were allowed to visit Joy Boy's relic. Although it doesn't bring any real help, you still want to see it." Kaido looked towards a piece of stone tablet. The last time Roger and the others entered the island, they saw this and laughed out loud, and named the final place Raftel. Indeed, a bit curious what it was, Kaido carefully examined it. In front of this is a stone tablet, on which are carved many designs. From the leftmost, rightmost direction looking, the stone tablet is likely to be more than 100 meters tall. The amount of information is not small. As Kaido came to look in the stone tablet for the moment, on the stone tablet above, suddenly many little spirits jumped out. They introduced and performed the contents of the stone tablet. More than a year ago, there was a terrifying king who almost wanted to rule the whole world. Everyone was a slave until Joy Boy appeared and dealt with that king. The performance arrogantly stood with his hands on his hips looking at the sky. Joy Boy then used his ability to hear the sounds of all things to find many companions. Like Zunisha, and there's also the Sea King. All kinds of large-scale companions, almost all the world's islands, continents, and kingdoms are all closed together. To the whole world, all even into one large piece, also founded the kingdom. The kingdom is named One Piece. The meaning is to join into one piece, but it is a great pity that, wanting to bring this kingdom of Fisherman Island to the ground, seeing the sun, similarly reunited, the war broke out again. At that time, right at Fisherman Island, Joy Boy left behind a letter of apology and returned to join the battle, but never returned. Joy Boy said he hopes that the whole world's slaves will be liberated, everyone will be free and equal, so he reserves all the liberated slaves. Happy laughter speaking. The elves carried out some scientific and technological equipment, which should be a product of the lunar civilization. Inside, there were clearly recorded sounds of laughter, gathering sounds. The sound of being rescued, and also Joy Boy's familiar, very similar laughter to Luffy's. Joy Boy also said, in the world hatred comes from mutual misunderstanding. People are separated by the distant ocean and fierce waves, not familiar with each other, do not understand each other, thus giving rise to different perceptions of thought. And from ignorance arise misunderstandings, thus giving rise to mutual hatred. So Joy Boy hopes that the whole world will be united into one piece, becoming the same kingdom. Everyone can understand each other. One Piece, also Joy Boy from the rescue of the first slave began, also said dream, as more and more slaves are rescued. The One Piece dream is also getting closer and closer. Meanwhile, there are also countless Joy Boy achievements. That Nika fruit is the world's most chaotic force, always able to do things beyond people's expectations, bringing people laughter. Wait a minute, Kaido was also completely immersed in Joy Boy's life story, as if he could see Joy Boy right in front of him, as if the rescued slaves were right beside him. Receiving those infectious laughter, seeing Kaido at the end, he also unconsciously laughed along. When Kaido regained his senses, he had already seen the stone tablet in front of him that was over 100 meters away. Stop at Joy Boy's death, the great kingdom splits, so. This is the great secret treasure, One Piece. Kaido saw these contents later, said, it's not some kind of treasure, even One Piece is not an RAF tell. The so-called finding One Piece is to bring the world once again pieced together, so that the slaves can once again be rescued, everyone once again because of understanding each other no longer misunderstand. No longer start war again, this is the meaning of One Piece. Yes, that's right, the dark-colored elf said, previously, Mr. Idiot asked me if I could lend him Joy Boy's things. He wanted to do all of this, but the Ancestral Tree King didn't agree to him. Because of other things, the predicted time also didn't match. He came too early, I understand, Kaido nodded slowly. No wonder Roger named this island Raftel. What does Raftel mean? Laugh, tale Japanese translation. The meaning is, laugh story, he brought the memories he saw in the stone tablet. Undoubtedly the most deeply engraved, those joyful laughter summarized. Because the entire stone tablet, from beginning to end, the most important point is Joy Boy saving slaves, bringing joy to the world. The entire stone tablet records is a funny story. But Roger left Raftel later. He also did not attack the celestial dragons, and did not continue to do anything that would disrupt the world. Because he understood from Raftel, he was still too weak, even Joy Boy. A powerful person who used 3 ancient weapons and had so much help, still lost in the end. If Roger tried to push that heavenly dragon away, he would simply be seeking death. He deeply realized the gap between himself and the world. BGSSB height, PX, so. He ended the adventure. Go Give Birth finally chose to confess. Others thought he was sick, but in fact, his illness was just an internal factor, a factor that made him confess earlier. Roger also said that his group arrived too early because it is too early to confirm, and the prediction is completely inconsistent. The giant kingdom that connects into one piece of One Piece is not something Roger has the ability to find, but he is deeply fascinated by this dream. Confession was executed at the time. Roger said that to the world, want my treasure. If you want it, I can give it all to you, go find it. I've left everything in the world there. There are some translations that will slightly drop this key information in the world, changing it to I put all my treasures there. In fact, the original text is all the information in the world. One Piece, of course, exists in the world. Because it is to bring the world together, to join together, to form one piece, how can there be nothing in the world? But I don't know this kind of concept, people. Without a doubt, he would imagine that it was some kind of secret treasure that could only belong to adults, and then run like a duck toward the sea. So all the secrets are so simple. Kaido recalled the past, then looked at the present, couldn't help but shake his head, overthrow the celestial dragons, save the slaves. Let the world be reunited, enter a new world of freedom and equality for all. For the kings who want to fight for hegemony, they definitely won't like this kind of world, so it must be Joy Boy. Only he can do it. This is the reason why Luffy is the main character. He has overwhelming strength, but is not motivated by power. Joy Boy left everything behind, just these. The dark-colored elf said, ancient weapon, heavenly king. Temple of the Sun. Scepter. There are also records of Joy Boy's entire steely, laughing story. Then I will borrow it all, Kaido said. It's time, capture that guy. Previously worried that Pangu City was too dangerous, Kaido chose to follow the prophecy and arrive at Raftel first. This trip was indeed worth it. I received very effective help and understood countless truths. Kaido enters the Temple of the Sun. The temple is made of ancient materials. The inner shrine was empty, with only a stone pillar in the center, and at the center of the stone pillar, there was a red ball of light shining brightly. Kaido, under the guidance of the little spirit, reached out his hand towards that red ball of light. Immediately countless rays of light scattered on Kaido's body. Kaido's strength is enhanced. And Kaido also instantly established communication with the Temple of the Sun, and could control the Temple of the Sun to take off at any time. Success, the dark-colored elf said in surprise. The Sun Temple has recognized you at once. The Sun Temple and the Ancestral Tree King are the same. They all believe that you can fulfill all of Joy Boy's wishes. The shrine is conscious. Kaido asked, no other temples have it. The Temple of the Sun has some kind of restriction. Only Joy Boy can start it. You can too, the Dark Elf said. Listen, Kaido on the other hand seemed to understand. To activate the Sun Temple, you must awaken the Nika fruit. So Joy Boy and I can, but the others can't. Guess the dark color little spirit. Also do not understand this one body standard. Afterward, roaring Raftel Island emitted an echo. The island and surrounding ocean also began to vibrate. Temple of the Sun. Start. Raftel on the island of vegetation. This moment seems to be swept away by a hurricane. The air wave makes them a Mr. Popo sway. On the sea surface also appeared layer upon layer of foam. It seems like some monster has awakened from Raftel Island. What happened? On the boat of the King of Hell, the crowd was startled to see this change, then saw it Raftel on the island. A temple right now empty and up. Receiving. He saw the ancient weapon that the Sun God Temple brought, flying into the sky together. A palace in flight. What happened? Raftel inside. What exactly is the situation? On the boat, the crowd stared. Receiving, the Heavenly King also appeared before their eyes. Ancient weapon. Heavenly King. Isn't the Heavenly King currently in the midst of repairs with the Allied forces? How did he appear at Raftel? Raftel also has a Heavenly King. What's the situation? I don't understand. Quickly. Everyone was scared stiff. Rayleigh was startled at this moment. Before that, Kaido the Heavenly King. Wasn't he taken from Raftel? Originally, it was thought that Kaido had obtained the Heavenly King from Raftel through some method, but Rayleigh couldn't figure out what method it was. There are two Heavenly Kings. There is also the Sun Temple starting up. It seems Kaido is really Joy Boy. He achieved everything. Rayleigh looked over the Temple of the Sun and slowly rose, remembering the many times he had been to Raftel Island with Roger, and Red Hair also looked up at this scene. Prediction to be fulfilled. Red Hair eyes flashing. He has been waiting for this day for a very long time. At the same time, in the bottom of my heart, I once again feel the unpredictability of the world. After Roger left Raftel, he thought that the red-haired guy was Joy Boy, and then thought that Luffy was Joy Boy, and the final result was Kaido. Sun God Temple appeared in the sky of the King of Hell. We return to the Holy Land, raise Pangu City, deal with him, and welcome the new era. Kaido's voice rang out from within the Temple of the Sun, on the boat of the underworld. Countless cries filled with fighting spirit erupted. Everyone has been waiting for this moment for so long. The United Army's goal of overthrowing the Heavenly Dragon's rule is finally to be completely realized. The Temple of the Sun at this moment condensed a beam of light. Boom! The dawn flew towards the ocean, opening up a point, leaving Raftel Sea area, piercing through the misty sea area, straight to the Holy Land's calm and incomparable sea surface sanctuary. Mariejwa, as Kaido returned from Raftel. What a great battle, this straight to the Holy Land light ... single quotes. It seems that everything Roger saw before, but couldn't do, Kaido wanted to do it all. Whitebeard and the others, at this moment, looked over at the light coming straight at the red line, and couldn't help but exclaim. Sun God Temple, Heavenly King, Hell King, and the others who followed the ship to chase away seeking Haivuan, now returned to the red line together. Sanctuary, Kaido, you come back. What do you want to achieve? Are you sure you can destroy Painu City and kill him? Sengoku and the others, at this moment, looked over from the Sun Temple and hurriedly asked. Hearing that, Kaido looked towards Painu City. I have learned many secrets, I will tell you later. Now, first kill him, Kaido awakened Nika Fruit. At this moment, he had the ability to communicate with the Temple of the Sun, which meant that he could freely obtain the Temple of the Sun's blessing, and could also use his consciousness to operate the Temple of the Sun. Therefore, even though Kaido was not in the Temple of the Sun, under the guidance of his consciousness, the Temple of the Sun once again condensed the light of dawn and charged towards Painu City. This Tao of Dawn's power is many times stronger than the light condensed by the Heavenly King. Obviously, ancient weapons did not come from the hands of the lunar civilization, and the Sun Temple was created by the lunar civilization. Its power is unmatched. Painu City, the deepest place. Flowers in the distance. BGSSB height, PX a Sun Temple, was startled. His expression instantly changed. He obtained Joy Boy's relic. Joy Boy was resurrected, and it was Kaido. Painu City could not stop the Sun God Temple from attacking several times. Ancestor Phylong, Ancestor Phylong. Silently shouting from within the flower, obviously panicked, the flowers are on the wall. Face emerges, that is the old dragon head. Dragon beard like Kogarashi. Get ready, go to the moon, I said. Hearing this old dragon head opened his eyes. Your body has not yet been transformed. It can completely adapt to the lunar environment. There's no time, Joy Boy is resurrected, and he brought the Sun God Temple with him, said. The flowers fell silent. Afterward, boom! A loud explosion spread from outside Painu City to the flower fields. Make the flowers in the middle, at this moment all shake, falling down countless pieces. Painu City can withstand 3 attacks at most, said Okay then. The old dragon head said at this moment, I will transport the flower to the moon, after Painu City is destroyed. You need to protect the flower, wait for my strength to transport it back, everything will be safe. Okay, said, you have been sleeping for so long. How much time do you need to activate your power? Quarter. Ancestor Phylong replied, my body is too big, and I have been sleeping for too long. Every movement of mine needs time to warm up. 1/4 of an hour is the fastest result. It's not true that the bigger the body, the better. The tall body, on the contrary, will act slow, clumsy, not flexible enough. When encountering a flexible object that cannot be crushed by the body, the weakness will be revealed. I will protect you for a moment, nodded. Boom, Painu City. At this moment encountered the second wave of attacks. I leave the flowers. Seeing Painu City, it had been hit with countless cracks. Some small places were already broken. Just one more strike. Painu City would completely collapse. There is no way to leave Painu City. But cannot leave the flower too far. Between flowers, protect the life of the dead, also modified his body, allowing him to live longer until one day, when the body is completely transformed, and will go to the moon and take over everything left behind by the lunar civilization. But before the day had even come, Kaido, this guy, arrived first, also bringing such a huge disaster. dealing with the Navy, killing all the celestial dragons, destroying the divine knights, destroying the Gorosei, killing the 3 great dragon kings. To me none of them pose any threat. Silent, cold eyes, as long as I am among the flowers. The future ancestor Phi alone will take me to the moon. Everything else is trivial. I originally thought that Kaido had no way to attack Pangu City, much less threaten me. Then I will slowly reform my body within the flower, and reverse everything for the better in the future. But damn Kido ... double quotes. How are you, Joy Boy? How did you get to the Temple of the Sun? Roger passed through Raftel that year. Like understanding everything, but when he left Raftel, he didn't bring anything out. This made him confident that Raftel probably left nothing behind except a bit of historical text. So, him worried about Raftel, lowered his standards extremely low. Don't even bother to collect traffic signs. As a result, Kaido went to Raftel and brought out the Temple of the Sun. Why didn't Roger bring it out before? It turns out that the Temple of the Sun is really in Raftel. What was Roger doing before, playing with me? And in this moment mood really not good. Boom, another attack, Pangu City collapsed. Silent figure, also gradually revealed, Kaido. Im opened his mouth at this moment. His voice from the front of the flower spread throughout the entire Mariejwa Holy Land, or should I say, Joy Boy, you find me, I appear. The mysterious figure appeared before everyone's eyes at this moment. His head is crowned with a crown, skinny. It's more like a dried-up corpse than a person. Like that kind of person, starving to death, skinny. Living 800 years old, it is indeed impossible to have an exceptionally healthy, strong existence. He is like now. Also belongs to the reasonable. Shut up. This is the world government behind it, the mysterious ruler at the top. He calls himself the god of silence, but he is actually a skinny old man. On the Holy Land, Sengoku and the others, as well as the allied forces, were now looking at him with curiosity and surprise. Behind the scenes, the appearance of the Dark Hand is indeed beyond people's expectations. I thought it would be an extremely strong monster, or filled with a sense of sacredness and deceptive humanity. Kaido's eyes also focused on this Im's body. You are Im. Kaido also met him for the first time. Even though he had divine vision, all he saw before was darkness. Now is the first time seeing Im's true appearance. I think you cannot leave Pangu City. Kaido said, now that Pangu City has been destroyed, you still exist perfectly intact. Looking at it ... You are unable to leave the flower, or rather, you cannot be too far away from the flower. Smart people often die quickly, Im said coldly. Kaido smiled, then let's do it. The two of them looked like they were not moving at all. A second later, the two people collided with a loud bang. Boom, Kaido in his hand with the Wolf-Tooth mace attacked him, but was blocked by him with a long sword. In front of the throne in the sky, there were 20 weapons left by the kings. At this moment one of them appeared in Im's hand. Block. Kaido was surprised. My current attack power has already dealt with Gorosei, received a branch reward, and then doubled to invincible X level. This kind of force should have been able to sweep across the entire world without any peer, but now it's blocked by him. Can't lose silence. How can he be so strong? Can rule the world for 800 years. The background is actually so deep, isn't it said that if the previously invincible X dared to enter, wouldn't this mean he would undoubtedly die? But Kaido was startled, but do not know. I'm even more shocked. At this moment, deep in his heart, there were waves of turmoil. Kaido's power, how can it be so strong, originally? And thought that Kaido would use the power of the Sun Temple to continuously launch attacks against him. What Im wanted to do was to protect the flower for a moment. Just discovered Kaido actually wants to die, close to wrestle with me. Im then laughed. Using the Temple of the Sun to attack from a distance, I still have no way to hold Kaido. Since he took the initiative to seek death, I will not hesitate to receive Kaido's head, but am confident like that reason. Also because he gathered 20 kings' forces. Of course not unconditionally unlimited eternal set. But taking advantage of the flower, the 20 kings' power was temporarily concentrated on one person. Just don't break the flowers. Silence can permanently gather 20 kings' forces. And the 20 kings, each one's strength, is at the invincible level. 20 people added together, that is the Champion X again. Over the next 800 years, various types of growth and progress occurred. Already reached Champion X, this force, in the whole world is invincible, can be swept away at will. Dealing with Kaido is simply a matter of one move, now shocked to discover. Kaido also has the equivalent of 20 kings gathering forces. This is not possible. Where does Kaido get this power from? What a joke, Kaido, who the hell are you? BGSSP height, PX, could not imagine. Your strength, where exactly did it come from? Are you really a person of this world? Even started to suspect Kaido was an alien. Because the Pirate King world power, has grasped to the limit. There is no possibility of having excess forces to gather. Compare . Kaido really did it. How could he not suspect that Kaido was an alien? I am Kaido. In this world, becoming famous is not something that can be achieved in a day or two, right? Kaido regained his composure and said, "You don't know me." I'm staring. I know that Kaido very well. And this Kaido before you, except for the name, where else is there any similarity? Is Kaido that strong? Kaido has a personality like yours, Joy Boy, wanting to liberate the whole world, fuck. You are Kaido on the outside, but inside this body, you are definitely someone else. Silent at this moment of solemn oath, growled softly, "Tell me the truth, who exactly are you? Where do you come from? You must be deep in the universe, some unknown civilization guy occupying Kaido's body, using some kind of force that I cannot understand, to compare with my strength, making a ruckus under the eyes of this world, right?" Silence roared, even a little hysterical. Kaido was shocked. Bullfight, am guessing right. I really am a transmigrator from another world, coming to your force, then through the system of harvesting. This is all a secret. Kaido has not told anyone. Still can, in not knowing the situation, comprehensively deduce the truth. This guy is a bit smart, being able to rule the world for 800 years, becoming the last victorious person of the previous 20 kings, is indeed not a simple character. Kaido was terrified inwardly, but on the surface he was just slightly ashamed. Shut up, you can't accept your defeat, and have already started talking nonsense. Face reality. Your strength isn't that strong, and it's time for your world domination to collapse. Face defeat, face death, you shut up, you alien invader. I said madly. Kaido felt a strange feeling. Alien invaders sound like they don't have a mental illness, but they are strange. I haven't used it yet, my real power. This world absolutely does not allow alien invasion. Silently screaming, his body began to change. Witness my fruit power, lightning. Follow the mad roar of . He transformed. On the body appeared countless lightning to avoid laning. Divine power enveloped him, and in his hand condensed a lightning-shaped weapon, or rather, it was lightning. Also changes his body into another state. Zoan system, Hido no Mi, mythical Zoan, God King Zeus form. At this moment, brought the lightning in his hand and slashed towards Kaido. This force, compared to the previous group of angels from the Divine Knights, is even more sacred and powerful. Rubber out lightning rod, Kaido used the Nika fruit, transforming into the sun god Nika. At this moment, his fist changed shape and attacked the lightning immortal. To forces collide, Kaido was immediately at a disadvantage. No matter what, Kaido is already invincible in power. Even with the addition of Nika's fruit transformation, he is still invincible in power. But M's base already has Invincible X after transforming into Zeus form. Now it is possible to have Invincible X's power around. The difference is clear. Kaido is on the weak side. Absorb. Kaido uses special ability. makes Ing's attack power decrease by percent. One-time attack, Kaido changed the outcome, destroying Zeus' lightning form. Boom, receive backlash and take 1 point of damage. Damn it, Im at this moment whispered and scolded. My strength was actually weakened and still defeated. Obviously Kaido's strength was greater and he was in the upper hand, but suddenly he was weakened by 3 parts. Damn it, there is no justice. Can you take this move from me? Completely enraged, he now roared wildly, changing his form once again. From then on, Zeus took on the form of a divine lightning god. Transformed into a giant body, more than 10 meters tall, muscles increased rapidly, and under his crotch, a Pegasus also appeared. Behind him, in a flash, countless great armies of horsemen appeared. Zoan system, Hido no Mi, mythical Zoan, God King Odin form. I swing my sword, countless martial god armies let out angry roars. Fruit song, Kaido was stunned. All of these are rare God King level fruits. This is him, no wonder he calls himself a god. Followed by him giving an order, behind that, countless devil fruit made. Possibly illusory martial god army, all riding on heavenly horses, charged towards Kaido. The atmosphere is so overwhelming that the number covers the sky. Rubber giant. Kaido's body expanded infinitely, as if he wanted to grow taller. The martial god army was like an anteater and a swarm of ants. Kaido's hand struck out. The martial god was instantly crushed. Then exploded. The martial god army collapsed. Just one hand wiped out the entire martial god army. The incarnation of God King Odin also jumped into the air, facing Kaido with a huge face. Gungnir, the gun in his hand suddenly expanded, reaching half the length of Kaido. Using both hands, thrust Gungnir towards Kaido's head. Rubber ape god spear. Kaido meets Gungnir head-on, the two have not yet had any real contact. The oppressive force has caused the sky to crack, constantly changing under the oppressive force, from normal daytime. The weather turned purple, countless bolts of lightning surged between Gungnir and the divine ape spear, extending all the way to the horizon. The people on the Holy Land also endured a pressure falling from the sky. What kind of force is this? Just the pressure of the move alone already made me feel suffocated. This is the human realm of power. Whitebeard, Sengoku, Garp and the others, at this moment their expressions suddenly changed. Common use of haki to protect oneself, the other common Union army. Many people have passed away, but this is a bilateral tactic that has not yet had any effective formal contact. Whitebeard's face turned pale, so this is the world's strongest force fighting. The strongest in this world, it seems, is only limited to the range of ordinary humans. Red Hair also felt that his haki was a bit unable to protect himself. The aftermath of this battle in the sky was truly too powerful. Gungnir and the ape spear finally made contact. At the crucial point where the two touched, it seemed like a microscopic star was about to explode. After a moment of silence, the world suddenly became quiet, and everyone was briefly blinded. The sanctuary above. Before everyone's eyes the world turned completely white, and all sounds were completely silent. This form passed for a few seconds. The white inside appeared a dazzling color. That was an explosion. And the sound also appeared. Suddenly it was like there were countless trains roaring in the ears, making people's heads hurt so much, unable to think. And the crowd was also unable to stand upright in the original place, was swept away by a powerful force, drifting along. My haki can't even block the aftershocks. Double quotes. Red Hair was terrified. They also thought they could watch the whole battle. Can't think of being swept away by the aftermath of the battle. Can keep life or not is not good to say in the sky. Kaido and him fought each other, and the result appeared. Still using absorption, the power of silence was weakened by 3 parts. However, this time Kaido was also injured. Had previously absorbed the loss and was prepared. After discovering that Gungnir was weakened, he suddenly detonated Gungnir. This explosion caused Kaido quite a bit of damage. However, Kaido had the ability to recover 3 times his original state in 1 second, so the damage from the explosion only hurt Kaido for about half a second, no damage to hair. M opened his eyes wide, detonating gun near later. It was clear that the damage was done to Kaido. After all the explosions passed, Kaido was restored to his full glory. What is this recovery? Rubber white whip. Kaido spun around and fell from the sky. Based on the falling direction, it should fall into the sea. But M was led by some force and fell near the flower. Boom! Emit a deep echo to the ground. Kaido also dispelled the giant state, returning to normal size. Thunder and darkness 8 trigrams. Kaido made his move. God said, "Let there be light," suddenly. Falling on the ground, M opened his mouth to speak. A beam of light from the sky above shone down, covering M's entire body. M transformed again. This time he had long hair, kept his beard, and was wearing a white outfit. Zoan system, Hido no Mi, mythical Zoan, god form. He stood up again, seemingly in a state of recovery, gaining strength, 3 fruit ability. Kaido was surprised, and it's a god. Kaido, at this moment opened his mouth and said, seeing God, still not kneeling down. "Listen." Kaido initially thought that M was talking nonsense and being careless. But immediately, Kaido felt an invisible force suddenly pressing down on him. Kaido was startled. It was as if a huge mountain was rumbling behind Kaido. It really is to Kaido suddenly have the feeling of wanting to kneel down. Words follow the law. Kaido immediately thought of the possibility. Kneel, Kaido, M repeated. Kaido wanted to kneel down, feeling more and more intense. But this kind of feeling, completely unable to resist, like, Kaido, I really want to kneel down. When I think of kneeling down, how can I stop myself? Can only rely on willpower to resist that kind of feeling of wanting to kneel. But this is obviously not a very effective method. I really want to kneel down, but I really don't want to kneel down. Willpower is unable to resist downwards. Sooner or later the willpower will relax and you will kneel down. Kaido's legs couldn't help but start shaking. Kneel down, then kill yourself, M said. This is God's will. The other kind of feeling of wanting to kneel down is more serious. M first said kneeling time. Kaido felt his legs go weak. The second time he said kneeling, Kaido's legs were trembling. And this third time said kneel, Kaido seemed to be mentally ill, desperately wanting to kneel, his mind filled with the hope of kneeling down. But Kaido's willpower obviously couldn't bear to kneel down, resisting that kind of kneeling trend. This is what words say, completely invisible, making people unable to understand the power. Kaido gritted his teeth. God's fruit, it is indeed terrifying. But it seems like it can only be used as a magic weapon. Shut up and take advantage of my current poor condition to deal with me in physical form. Kaido previously obtained immunity to the ability, can be immune to natural forces. But the words come out of the law, obviously not inside. This is an extraordinary bug-level force system. Kaido immediately thought to himself, open the free devil fruit bag. Choose the god fruit, use it immediately. Reuse the devil fruit upgrade card, bring it to the fruit throne to use. Previously achieved a lot of free devil fruit. Both are not used, because I don't know which devil fruit is better. Using the above devil fruit trash is undoubtedly equivalent to a waste now, this moment. The strongest devil fruit has appeared, God fruit. Use successfully, God fruit, upgrade successfully. God fruit has been promoted to the extreme. The system gives feedback, shut up, kneel down. Kaido immediately used this devil fruit ability. I am the omniscient, omnipotent, merciful God. Shut up, kneel down, kill yourself. Hearing that, M frowned and wanted to laugh. What the hell is Kaido doing? He thinks he has the fruit of God. He can speak magic ... Phew, I knelt down. Dream. I bowed my head and looked at myself kneeling on my knees. How did I get down on my knees? There was no feeling at all, nor any warning. I suddenly knelt down. Even after I knelt down, I realized I was kneeling down. What happened? What are you doing? Im looked over at Kaido. Let me kneel. I suddenly kneel. Could it be that Kaido can also use words to do magic? But that's not true. Inside the devil fruit, only the god fruit has the power to speak and use magic. Having lived for more than 800 years, he determined that there was no other way to obtain the power of speech, so at this moment, he was shocked and confused, choosing to directly ask Kaido what happened. Because I am God, it's that simple. Kaido used himself, just in time to receive the maximum devil fruit ability. Transform into God form, same here, totally agree. But Im was just injured, but Kaido's health recovered, leaving Kaido in his prime. So Kaido followed his words and obtained victory in the clash. Fruit God! Im choked and stared. You can't possibly have the god fruit. There's only one in the world, and this is the only one. There's basically no way to imitate the devil fruit. All fruits, as long as the science and technology are in place, can be copied. Simply probability, time, cost, and all kinds of problems. God fruit is not the same. This fruit has unique properties. 800 years of silence, countless times tried to restore the divine fruit. Even in theory, the possibility of success does not exist. But other devil fruits, at least in theory, have a glimmer of hope. Kaido now manifests the fruit god. It can be said that breaking down lost more than 800 years of awareness. God fruit, there is indeed only one, Kaido calmly said. I am real, you are fake, you are pretending to be God. Even a merciful God cannot forgive you easily. Shut up, kill yourself. Him again accepting the language of the law depending on the influence. His hands suddenly trembled, was struggling to hold on, not affected by Kaido's words. The merciful God orders you to commit suicide. The evil God's people will have their entire families killed by the merciful God. You also want the evil God's merciful God, Kaido coldly said. God is merciful. But they are all a bunch of evil people, forcing God to kill his entire family. You also want to make the merciful God do it himself. You want to go to hell, unable to escape your sins for thousands of years. God incarnation later, Kaido has a godlike way of thinking. It's like becoming a god yourself, but the emperor is extremely merciful. God killed the whole family, so it is also a bit helpless. God is pitiful, evil people are hateful, hell is prepared for those evil people, omniscient and omnipotent God. Benevolent God of all people, is the greatest in this world, should receive the utmost worship of the true Lord from the whole world. But for such a great God, even people dare to commit heresy. Really should be killed whole family, kill yourself, shut up. Kaido continued to make his impact. This is God's request to you. Do you dare to oppose the omniscient and omnipotent God? This word is like a heavy blow to an immediately pale face. He was shaken. God's will could not be refused. Whatever God wanted you to do, you must do. Otherwise billions of years of torture await you. Shut up. Hold him by the neck. Press hard at the same time. Use force. Shut up. This is still lacking a lot, Kaido continued. God hopes you can completely kill yourself. Be quiet. Want to resist Kaido. Do not obey these orders. But the body did not listen. The hand was constantly exerting force. Before, everyone ate the fruit of God, so high above the people who ordered him, no one dared to oppose his will. Because he was a god, he was God. Now the feng shui is changing. It's him's turn to be commanded by the will of God. Just a moment. Silent face pale, flipping Byakugan. Hand seems to be independent from the outside body. The back of hand veins pop out. Continuously increasing force, consciousness is gradually fading. He is about to strangle himself. A quarter of an hour. Suddenly, the flower opened. The old dragon head opened its mouth. Shut up, go back, you can go to the moon. Was in great pain. His face was pale. He could not move. Two dragon whiskers flew out from between the flowers, wrapped him tightly around the present, brought him back to the flower garden, but just entered the flower. Im endured all the command orders. In a moment nothing was left. The spirit of influence is cut off between flowers. I let go of her hand and let it fall from my neck. But Im also suddenly took a deep breath. That is the survival instinct of a person who has not breathed for a long time. Received. Face extremely ugly, Im fell to the ground, mouth wide cough. Why is it like this? Still unable to accept, in the world, why are there two divine fruits, and the Kaido fruit seems to be at a higher level of development than mine, and even more powerful. Double quotes. Maybe it has something to do with lunar civilization, Ancestor Phylong, at this moment said. Involving the lunar civilization, everything is possible. You should not think too much, wait until we reach the moon. Sooner or later we will understand everything. What kind of civilization is that? You are the first creature they created. How much more so? Silent asked, I see many things, but I cannot understand them. My intelligence is not enough. Ancestor Phylong said, in my memory, the appearance of the moon civilization is no different from yours. You are the moon civilization, created according to your appearance. Simply put, their tools, headquarters, clothing, etc., are different from yours. I cannot understand the different meanings of those words. Silence, seeing does not imply understanding. Let the ants see human houses, boats, guns, clothes, even thoughts. The ants are unable to understand. They can see, but absolutely cannot understand. No matter if it is the Ancestor Phylong or the Silent, in front of the lunar civilization, they are all mindless ants, even if it is humans. The lunar civilization is created according to their own appearance. Roaring, red line, at the hole cracked. Body shape surpasses 100,000 meters. Even more likely the ancestor flying dragon from within the red line appears. At the top of the head of the Ancestor Phylong, on top of the flower. Fly towards the sky, towards the moon, fly away. Red line collapsed. What happened? That is, what a giant dragon-shaped creature. All over the sea, at this moment, they saw the figure of the Ancestor Phylong. Everyone was terrified. They had never seen this kind of giant monster before. This is the Ancestor Phylong on the boat of the Underworld King. The red-haired Whitebeard and the others who had just fallen from the Holy Land were rescued. At this moment, everyone was shocked and looked up at the sky. The celestial dragon's trump card. After seeing it with my own eyes, I deeply realized how powerful it was. If it weren't for Kaido, all of us together would be nothing more than a laughingstock in front of the celestial dragon. Red Hair trembled for a moment, and said in a low voice, in the past 800 years, all the strong people combined, in front of the celestial dragons, are nothing more than a laughingstock. Only Kaido can create such a miracle, threatening the celestial dragons with such an insider knowledge. That year Joy Boy lost, inheriting Joy Boy and the 20 Kings background. The powerful celestial dragon man in all of human history is probably the most extreme, the most unique. With this kind of strength, many so-called strong people are just a joke. But the background of Thien Long Non is even more terrifying. It is even harder to imagine how Kaido exists, to be able to face the power of a celestial dragon and create such a miracle. Even in his dreams, he would not dare to dream of such an exaggeration. Sanctuary, this is the ancestor flying dragon. Much bigger than Zunisha, Kaido looked over. The azure dragon's form in front of it looked like a tiny worm. The celestial dragon ruled the world for 800 years, which is really quite reasonable. God said, "Let you stop." Kaido at this time looked at the ancestor Phylong and said, "The words and spells of the law depend on the power affecting the ancestor Phylong, its big head in midair stiff. As the head stopped, the body also slowly swayed, slowly stopping piece by piece, but it only lasted a moment. The ancestor Phylon immediately escaped Kaido's mental influence. At the same time, the flower on its head also released a ray of light, covering the entire head of the ancestor flying dragon. God said, "Let you stop," Kaido continued. The light on the head of the Phylon ancestor was so bright that it was blinding. It seemed like a ray of light between flowers blocked Kaido's words. Causing the ancestor Phylon to not be affected, he continued to fly towards the sky without stopping. It turns out that between the flowers, there is a kind of key science and technology. Kaido's eyes stared intently at the head of the ancestor flying dragon. Silence is hiding inside. Ancestor flying dragon wants to take silence to the outer heavens, to the moon. Look at the movements of the ancestor Phylon. It has no intention of returning, going straight forward without retreating into the outer world, must want to go to the moon. Want to use those scientific and technological things on the moon to do some messy things. Sun Temple, attack the ancestor flying dragon, Kaido commanded. The temple of the sun is now filled with the light of dawn. Boom! The dawn fell loudly on the body of the ancestor flying dragon. 3 attacks were enough to destroy the dawn of Pangu City. But on the ancestor flying dragon's body, it did not leave any damage, so thick defense. Kaido was surprised. This ancestor flying dragon is very inappropriate, looking at the ancestor Phylon. His position kept rising. Kaido decisively grabbed the body of the ancestor flying dragon. Sitting on the body of the ancestor Phylon, he went to the moon with it. The Light Spirit Clan told me before that going to the moon is a difficult task. Even the Temple of the Sun cannot go to outer space, Kaido thought to himself. Right now, I'm riding the ancestor flying dragon to the moon. My scepter can activate all the science and technology on the moon. As for how to survive in outer space, ... double quotes, I think my recovery ability will not disappoint me. 1 second restores percent status. Can recover to peak in 3 or 4 seconds. As long as Kaido is in outer space, his life loss will not reach 100% per second, which is like Kaido can survive indefinitely in outer space. As for how many lives will be lost in outer space, there are times when you always want to bet a bet. Kaido believes that he will not lose a single % of his life for a second. Sitting on the body of the ancestor flying dragon, constantly approaching the sky. The Phylon ancestor goes to heaven, Kaido on the body of the progenitor flying dragon. Kaido also wants to go to the outer heavens. I heard that there is no way for people to survive in the outer heavens. There is no shortage of people in the world who can fly and obtain devil fruits. In the past, there were countless people who tried flying to the heavens. In the end, they either died in the heavens or returned to the earth in fear. It is said that the sky outside is not a place where humans can survive. It is extremely terrifying and dark, with no end in sight. Governor Kaido will not have any problems. Below, countless people looked up, feeling nervous and worried. Flowers in between, Kaido come to my body. The old dragon's head appeared on the flower wall. I can't stop it. My body is too huge. I don't have much fighting ability, especially when facing such a small and agile opponent. I can only passively get beaten. It surpassed 100,000 meters in size and was a huge, bulky target. Facing weak opponents is easy to say. It randomly creates attack points and disasters, and can immediately destroy countless miscellaneous fish. But facing Kaido, it only gave him a headache. Here that .bgssp height, px. Im is not worried, he is looking for death. I have protection inside the flower, and after so many years of body modification, I am now going into space, going to the moon. I still have worries. Kaido, a person without any protection, without a body modification, will quickly die in space. I only hope so. I'm afraid that after creating so many miracles, he can continue to create miracles. This is what the old dragon is most worried about at this moment. The ancestor Phylon is getting closer and closer to outer space. The ground at the infinite distance from Kaido, everything is becoming extremely small. The surrounding sky was also becoming dim, and the air temperature was continuously dropping, but this pair of Kaido did not pose any threat. Until one moment, Kaido felt as if he had passed through some kind of thin membrane. Take it. The dark universe appeared before Kaido. Entering the vacuum, Kaido also immediately had a feeling of malnutrition. In the vacuum environment, Kaido felt the surroundings were relatively cold. But without the protective atmosphere, the ultraviolet rays brought Kaido a burning feeling. Cold and burning again, the body also because of the vacuum environment, that appeared a little swollen. The constant loss of oxygen also caused Kaido to have erroneous perceptions. But that's all are short, in the blink of an eye. Immediately after, Kaido's recovery ability started to take effect. Kaido's life state is constantly recovering at a rate of percent per second. The vacuum environment is constantly reducing Kaido's life state. It doesn't take seconds. Kaido immediately judged his situation well. In a vacuum environment, the damage done to me every second is far less than percent, maybe even around percent, Kaido thought to himself. Normal people in a vacuum environment, maintaining consciousness, surviving for more than 10 seconds is not the slightest problem. Losing consciousness and sense of awareness. Living for more than a minute or two is not a particularly big problem. This is the standard normal person. Kaido's body condition can survive in a vacuum for a longer period of time. This would result in Kaido receiving 10 times less damage every second. Roughly speaking, percent is not there yet, but Kaido can recover percent of his status every second. This made Kaido even feel a bit comfortable in a vacuum environment. However, Kaido's recovery is not just about recovering his vitality, but his state recovery. The state immediately means comfortable feeling, happy feeling, clear mind level, etc., of course also including vitality, all restored to peak. At this moment, Kaido had a kind of comfortable feeling. Being warm and comfortable on the island with the sea breeze blowing, enjoying a comfortable and pleasant sunbathing feeling. Sure enough, no problem, Kaido smiled faintly. Next, let's wait for the ancestor Phylong to send me to the moon. I'm looking forward to the scientific and technological civilization on the other side. The Phylong ancestor must fly to the moon, which will take several days. Kaido during this time, lying on the body of the ancestor flying dragon, considered as a vacation. Patiently waiting to go towards the moon space travel. Flowers inside, Kaido falls. Ancestor Phylong opened his mouth at this moment. In the universe, I have no way to sense his aura. However, the environment here is not something that the human body can directly receive. Even if he is not dead, he is close. Circle the moon for 2 more days, and he will surely die before falling again. At this moment, also revealed a smile. This idiot Kaido thinks he is so powerful that he can even block the natural environment outside Kong. Wait until I get to the moon. I want to study his corpse, turn him into my puppet. When I return in the future, I want to use the puppet Kaido to kill all those people in the world who have the courage to resist me. As for now, let those damned slaves on the ground be happy for a while. This is God's short-lived forgiveness for them. I let myself imagine the future, smiling with satisfaction. Moon. Closer and closer, even without officially reaching the moon. We can already see many buildings on the moon's surface. Although I don't know how many years no one has been to this place. Many buildings are still operating, emitting various colored mechanical light. In many buildings and constructions on the road, from afar, one can see many self-propelled vehicles moving, seemingly endlessly repeating some work. This place is the moon civilization, and also the first time seeing this scene. So many years have passed, still the same as that year. The old dragon head said at this moment, it's just that those familiar ancestors are missing. Let's go over and see if we can take over the science and technology here, okay? Im said expectantly. A few hours passed. The ancestor Phylong finally arrived on Kong's moon after circling for 2 days. The even larger amount of fists that crushed Kaido to death slowly descended. Here we go. The old dragon head said, "Shut up, you must try leaving the flower garden, right? Your body has not been completely transformed. It will not be able to fully adapt to the environment in the universe. I'm certain that without Panu City, hiding inside the flower bed is meaningless. There's no way to continue transforming my body. I must leave the flower bed and find a second person on the moon who can help me transform my body into Panu City," Im said. Ancestor Phylon nodded. The flowers open, a layer of light, separating the flower from the outside world. Pass through this layer of light and enter the moon. Vacuum environment immediately let him feel a little uncomfortable feeling. Ancestor Phylon looked at him intently, ready to bring him back to the flower garden at any time. Pass a while, as if adapting to the surrounding scenery, he opened his mouth to speak, but his voice could not be transmitted out. Just see him open mouth, deaf and mute, God said. Him transformed, becoming a god form. Adapting is still possible, although it is a bit uncomfortable. Overall speaking, there is no big problem. Enough for me to live on the moon for a few months, such a long time, enough for me to find. I need science and technology. It seems that after 800 years of renovation, the results are still very rich. Ancestor Phylon nodded. Kaido, Im said at this time, bring his body here. It has been wrapped in space for so long, it must have consumed him to death. I need his body. The body of the ancestor Phylon was moving loudly at this moment. Take Kaido's lying position and move him to nearby him. But at this moment, who dares to enter my territory? A sound suddenly on the moon rang out. This sound can be transmitted directly. Silence is based on the fruit of the gods. Words come out of the law, forced to transmit sound at the moon. This religion calls itself the voice of the gods. What is going on? Who glared? I am the god. Who dares to call themselves a god in front of me? A figure wearing a transparent helmet, shaped very similar to the heavenly dragon's helmet, walked out at this moment. He was tall, had very large ears, a ring of thunder behind him, held a golden stick in his hand, wore baggy pants, and had ABS on his upper body. Enel, this dell on the body flashing electric arc figure. This moment opened his mouth. You can come here, also not easy. But unfortunately tell you, this place is my territory, God territory, in the world, can only have me one God. God is merciful. Allow you now leave my territory, otherwise I will perform divine cut on you. It was the Goro Goro no Mi fruit user, Enel, who was defeated by Luffy, Silent Eyes. Attracted by the electric arc on Enel's body, Goro Goro no Mi. Aren't you a natural-born moon person? Just now, Im thought that this self-proclaimed godman was born on the moon, and might be the ancestor of the moon civilization. But looking at the Goro Goro no Mi, Im immediately changed his mind. This fruit has appeared many times in the world. Eat this fruit. Then clearly stated is originally living in the planet world. What moon man? Enel coldly said, I am the controller of Arc Maxim, the only true god in this place. You are wasting your words. If you don't go, you will receive divine punishment. It turns out that by luck, we obtained some kind of lunar technology, allowing us to sail in space like lowly commoners. And immediately despised him 100 times more, in front of me, calling yourself a god for so long. The people who dare to offend me, there are really more and more, kneel down, boom. Enel's body erupted with countless lightning bolts. These lightning formed a violent explosion. The words that came out of the spell seemed to collide with some kind of defensive mechanism on Enel's body. BGSSP height, PX. Dare to attack me, Enel roared softly, God's guard, come out. Speaking, countless electric arcs spread out from Enel's body. Just a moment on the moon, each moon in the tunnel. Each in the base, so countless mechanical bodies. This moment turned on the electricity and opened their eyes wide. Their mechanical bodies creaked and stood up, moving. The architecture is also open electricity. The door opens accordingly. From the vast interior of the structure, hundreds, more than thousands of mechanical bodies moved out. In the moon pit, many of the main working mechanical bodies have also received new orders, leaving the moon pit, surrounding the direction of silence. All. These mechanical bodies can lock onto the target and emit a flash of light, boom, forming each explosion cycle. Aha. Enel looked over these large-scale explosions and laughed madly. This is the end of daring to rebel against the gods. Resistance to the gods. The sound came from above. Hearing that, Enel's expression changed. When? That guy, how come he's suddenly on top? And not in the explosion of light, these mechanical bodies. All, the mechanical body, however, still received the impact. The mechanical body began to vibrate. As the noise grew louder, the mechanical body above also began to smoke. Boom. The mechanical group is sequentially self-destructive. On the moon, it seemed like fireworks were going off everywhere. These explosions shot up into the sky, like the stars and the moon still swirling around silent. In the explosion, he spread his arms, his eyes cold and silent. At this moment, he truly had a fierce divine aura. This is not possible. Enel's eyes flew out, his tongue wavy, but then he turned around, throne of God, open. Electric arc is transmitted. A place on the ground is electrified, opening a path leading to the underground. Enel jumped in, the ground restored to its original state. In a moment, the earth shook. A giant mechanical body crawled out from the ground. It is humanoid in shape. The skull alone has a radius of a few thousand meters. The entire body has more than 100,000 meters. Same as Phylong ancestor, not much difference. That is the moon where civilization makes things. The Phylong ancestor recognized it, previously used it to destroy various meteorites flying from deep in the universe, very strong, unmasked, can explode behind our world, even bigger meteorite. Ancestor Phylong said, in theory, it can explode in staring ejaculation. Know how strong and unbreakable the planet is. Quiet is stronger. Also do not dare to be arrogant to say can explode sperm. Even a satellite as large as the moon, and dare not say it can explode. Enel controls this type of mechanical body. Am I not sure to die? B. Am in a hurry to ask ... How come when you get to the moon, you meet a stronger enemy? A huge mechanical body from the moon underground climbed out half of its body. It doesn't need to be completely out. Half of its body is enough to fight against everything on the moon's surface, desperately generating electricity to power this huge mechanical body. In fact, mechanical transportation does not rely solely on electricity. It has internal reactor power. The huge mechanical body's chest cavity opened at this moment, and countless rays of light and bullets flew out from within, covering the sky and earth as they bombarded him. God said, stop. Ignore these flashes and projectiles. Boom, stop, although all stop, all at the same place explosion occurred. The huge mechanical body attack. The power and the previous small mechanical body is not a concept. Forming an explosion, sending him from the original Chamaki flying, even the Ancestor Phylong was injured. Ancestor Phylong pulled him back between the flowers. The flowers also have gaps. What power is this? I fell into the flower bed, looked through the crack above, and was shocked. Just the aftershock, it caused such great damage. Cough, speaking, and coughed up a lot of fresh blood. The aftershock only caused it to be severely injured. I was also injured. The ancestor of the flying dragon, at this moment, said in panic, this explosive mechanical body, a tiny attack, is enough to destroy us. We are not his opponents. Run, damn it. How can I be content if you run now? Furiously said, I risked going to the moon, dragged Kaido to death, and was finally about to take over the science and technology to take revenge. But such an incident happened. I am very unwilling. Face reality, the old dragon head on the wall said. Filled with anger, he clenched his fists, not willing, very unwilling. Extraordinary seclusion. How come after the moon that should have reached the peak of life, instead suffered such a great loss, wanting to capsize in the ditch, breaking the jack here? I even want to doubt whether I am a god or not, whether I am blessed by fate or not. Let's go. Im clenched his fist, still compromising. Ancestor Filong's body started up. Where do you want to go? Suddenly, a voice rang out from above the flowers. Walking around the moon once, and you want to leave? This is not good either. Let's stay here. This sound is so familiar. Kaido, he's alive. Im and Ancestor Filong both changed their expressions. That guy lying on the back of the Ancestor Flying Dragon, so he didn't die. Boom! The flower was attacked, originally cracked, now cold from snow and frost. The crack spread, eventually breaking a large hole. Kaido's tall figure fell into the middle of the flower. How are you still alive? I'm so scared. The old dragon head and beard danced wildly. When did I die? Kaido calmly said, thank you for taking me to the moon. I don't need you on the way back. Now, you can die, you ... double quotes. Im wanted to make a move, but was one step too late. Thunder Mangbagwa. Kaido was one step ahead and turned him upside down, just now. He was injured by Enel's huge mechanical body, so his strength has now decreased. Bald Dragon's beard now bound towards Kaido. Not strong enough. Kaido exerted force and pulled off all the dragon's whiskers. It's my turn. The Langna stick swung strongly towards the old dragon's head. Boom! On the wall. The dragon's head turned into a piece of debris. It was like a grain of sand that formed a dragon's head. Now it was beaten back to its original form. Damn it, BGSSP height, BX, and stood up. God said, kneel down. Kaido opened his mouth one step ahead. Bang! I knelt down on the ground. Im was injured, and in terms of strength, he was no longer on the same level as Kaido. Kaido, the fruit god, has the upper hand. Be quiet and swear. Completely blocked by Kaido, hung up and beaten. Damn it, when I was in the planet world. I was a high and mighty god in the Holy Land, ruling the entire world for 800 years. To the moon, including him, there were 3 people in total, 2 of whom could casually give me a hand. And I had no way of doing anything. What does this count as? Insulting the dignity of the gods, Kaido silently roared. Why do you want to target me? Why do you want to overthrow me? Do I have a grudge against you? What have I done to you? Why won't you let me go? Why even when you reach the moon, you still won't let me go? You don't please my eyes, Kaido said calmly. Im was stunned. Just because of such a ridiculous reason, you pushed down my 800-year foundation. I'm actually curious. Why do you want to overthrow Joy Boy? Kaido asked. Why are you so stubborn in ruling the world and calling yourself a god? What reason do you have? Im stunned again. Why did he overthrow Joy Boy? Because Im born into a noble family. His father was the king. However, after Joy Boy appeared, he overthrew the ruling nobles, including the ruling Im family, and gave the nobles and slaves equal status and equal treatment. Since childhood, he was well fed and pampered, and countless people served him. He did not need to do anything to make a living, and enjoyed endless wealth and alluring power, but within one night. Also because Joy Boy appeared. Im family wealth none, power none, serve his slave also not. I have to work to earn money myself, rely on my own labor to get food, shelter, and everything else I need. Based on what? I was born a royal and have everything. Joy Boy, what took everything away from me? That Joy Boy is the most hateful, shameless bastard in the world. Since childhood, I immediately hated this person. Hearing the surrounding slaves, those lowly commoners, each and every one of them spreading Joy Boy's story, I immediately wanted to vomit. Wanting to kill Joy Boy along with these commoners, all together. So, Im risked getting stronger, think of strong measures. So he willingly accepted all the hardships. Make people kneel down and kowtow, humble like looking down on a slave. The driving force behind all this was hatred and revenge against Joy Boy. Finally, I got stronger. He also found 19 people who, like him, had deep hatred for Joy Boy. Everyone was robbed by Joy Boy, poor royal orphans. Community hate, ideological community. Let them go together. Raise 20 swords, forming the initial resistance army. Countless nobles, royals, and people who had all their wealth taken away from them, unwilling to stand on equal footing with slaves. Commoners and lower-class people, all united together. Why overthrow Joy Boy? This is the reason. Joy Boy is sorry for them not counting. Kaido also did not understand what was in thinking. Although there was memo no mi fruit, but him's got fruit, let his memory extremely safe, Kaido said. In short, you angered them. This is the reason you were exiled here. You want to replace me and become the new god. Said, then how are you sure in the future you will not anger them, repeating my results? Your reason for overthrowing me is too funny. This possibility is also your reason for dying. At that time, how sarcastic should be. I don't want to become a god, nor do I want to rule the world, Kaido said calmly. I have no way against power. Take advantage of the system to continuously grow stronger. At most later try to see if it is possible to explore the universe. Why don't we cooperate? Fundamentally did not believe Kaido's words. How could there be someone who was not greedy for power? But he did not refute, but changed the subject. Outside Enel, that huge mechanical body. You are also unable to resist, right? Why don't we cooperate together, then join hands to rule the entire world? What do you think? Not interested, Kaido firmly refused. Approaching him, he brought down the Lang-Na stick. Roar! Suddenly, the ancestor Phylon let out an angry cry. Then there was a series of explosions. Enel controlled the giant mechanical body, forming a completely new round of attack. This time, without him's interference, the attacks all landed firmly on the ancestor Phylon's body. Even if he didn't deal with the ancestor Phylon, it wouldn't be pleasant, but between the flowers, it cracked on a large scale. Shaky about to fall, obviously about to break. Damn, what to do now? Was terrified. The flowers are shattered. My strength will also be greatly weakened. My lifespan will also quickly dry up. Kaido. Kaido looked at him. Call me for what? Only to see him's face full of panic. I don't want to die, Kaido. Save me. I can serve you. I am very valuable. I am very useful. No offense, I don't need you. Kaido shook his head and said, that year, out of the 20 kings, only you survived until today, so you know how deep your thoughts are. Keeping you is like keeping a viper by your side, who would be at ease. No, I don't want to die, screamed. Boom. Enel formed more and more explosions, crazily pouring into the flower and the ancestor flying dragon's body, flowers between, broken. Are not, a piercing scream rang out, falling out from between the flowers. Roar! The ancestor flying dragon was now screaming crazily. Its dragon head was dancing wildly. Its body was also trying to shake and twist, trying to escape the moon, but its body was too large. It started up extremely slowly. After being attacked by Enel, its movements were interrupted. It was basically a living target. A group of crazy attacks below. The ancestor Phylon was gasping for breath. Also under the explosive impact, spinning in the air dozens of times. Then, in the sky, consciousness fading. Body trembling under the moon's gravity, with a very slow speed descending. The flower that blessed me with power disappeared. Double quotes. I'm desperate. Ancestor Phylon was also seriously injured. Now that is no longer being targeted, he is unable to return to the planet and will die alone in the universe. Moreover, how could he not be targeted, and still call yourself a god? Enel's voice at this moment rang out. With that little strength, you dare to offend me. You will pay the price for your miserable efforts. I want to vomit blood. He could see that Enel himself was not strong. Time and time again, there is the Goro Goro no Mi fruit, which can provide energy and start the science and technology left behind by these lunar civilizations. Taking advantage of foreign objects and being so arrogant, time and time again, and still couldn't do anything to him. 10 parts secluded. There's one more person. Enel, at this moment looked towards Kaido. You, get out of my territory, otherwise, your result will be the same as his. Are you talking to me? Kaido asked. It's you, get lost. Enel defeated him. At this moment he was very pleased, already invincible. Don't make me say it again. Otherwise you want to leave, you won't have a chance. Kaido helplessly scratched his head. I decided to quietly watch the battle, wait for Enel and him to finish fighting, then I will make my move. Get yourself involved early, then there is no way. This place, all of it, does not belong to you. Kaido looked at the huge mechanical body and said, So, return everything here to me. What are you talking about? Enel's face darkened. I am the Earth God, the Supreme God. You say this place does not belong to me. Very good, offending the gods. You do not need to leave. Stay here forever, grandfather. The huge mechanical body, at this moment, condensed a flash of light, end of shipping. Kaido took out the scepter he got from Raftel and said, All equipment, stop activating. The staff emitted a halo. Enel controlled the giant mechanical body, immediately stopping the condensing light. Then, this huge mechanical body seemed to die, and became quiet again. The entire moon above, all the architecture, science and technology, equipment, all at this moment stopped operating, falling into silence. What happened? Enel was so scared. The electric light on his body became even brighter. Start, give me another start. But, useless, no matter how much electricity he poured into the machinery. The machinery would no longer react. You, what are you doing? Enel was both scared and angry, questioning Kaido. Kaido looked at the scepter in his hand with satisfaction. Obtaining the scepter, he immediately knew that holding this thing could activate all the lunar civilizations. Indeed, its power was great, and he did not deceive himself. Didn't do anything, Kaido calmly replied to Enel. Just let everything in here return to its owner. Returning the object to its owner? You're lying. This place is my territory. I am the god of this place. Everything here belongs to me. Forever belongs to me, Enel roared. Departure. Kaido shook his head, not arguing with Enel, just giving orders. The huge mechanical body's tip opened a small hole. Enel's seat suddenly shot up, brought Enel out from the giant mechanical body. There is this kind of function, Enel horror. I drove a large mechanical body, very safe. I didn't think I would be forcibly evicted. Instead, my heart was filled with fear and unease. I just lost it like that, still proud of being the strongest trump card. Shut up, Kaido said at this time. For the strong. I still have a lot of respect. I can't bear to see you die with such regret. Now I give you a chance. Fight to the death with Enel. Wait until you finish fighting. Then I will reap the harvest. Listen, about to die, not dead yet, as if once again activating life, opened his eyes. Got a chance. Find that damn Enel and take revenge. That guy is clearly not very strong. Yet he relies on dirty science and technology to make me struggle like this now. Revenge, the anger inside is burning fiercely. Facing Kaido, Im had no hope. Kill Enel, finally get some relief. There is still hope. Im raised the last of his strength, heading straight for Enel. You are insulting the gods. Enel was a little afraid of him. After all, just now in their fight, Im instantly destroyed countless small mechanical bodies. Electric arc and silent force, forming each round of explosion. Even though Im was seriously injured and about to die, there was no blessing from the flower, but a lean camel is bigger than a fat horse. Enel is at most the 7 warlords level in strength. Even if he was about to die, he could still crush Enel in terms of strength. Enel's lightning was shattered. But the incarnation of Zeus, had even more powerful lightning on his body at this moment, and sent a bolt of lightning towards Enlil. God King Zeus's lightning shattered all of Enlil's lightning defenses. Enlil's body was pierced through and nailed to the ground of the moon. Enlil's eyes. Panic, despair, regret, finally silence. Am also exhausted, helpless, slowly towards the ground, cough. Occasionally cough up a little fresh blood, floating in the air. I've given you a chance to take revenge. Now I should send you on your way. Kaido arrived at this moment. Can you tell me silently? He opened his mouth tiredly. Look at me. I'm going to die. Tell me all your secrets. I'm not willing. I want to die clearly. Who are you? Why do you have such great power? This is fundamentally unreasonable. Fundamentally unreasonable. After saying the last words, Im seemed to have a flash of light and let out a scream. It can be seen that Kaido created a psychological shadow for him. Listen, Kaido was silent for a moment, then opened his mouth, except for external systems. Kaido told him everything. I am a transmigrator from another planet. My soul is here. At the same time, he said to him with extraordinary heart, actually, this world, cover him, it's just manga inside the character. Kaido crossed over into the manga world, relying on his own efforts to accomplish everything he has today. The new system will not be mentioned, this great secret, no matter when. Kaido will not say it out loud. All the tricks left behind. The system is Kaido's final trump card, transmigrated, manga ... I'm just ... a manga character. I was stunned. I don't know what he's thinking. Can only see, Im expression is extremely complicated. Final, Im slowly closed his eyes, his vitality blatantly disappearing, then die completely. Branch quest, kill him, completed. Reward obtained, can be opened at any time, open. Reward has opened, authority system, percent open. Where there are props, unlimited harvest, unlimited use, current system level. Complete more main quests, can gain experience system, level up system. The higher the system level, the stronger and more props. Am officially dead. And Kaido also understood the system more comprehensively. Just the level system. I can use the level system rewards unlimitedly. Let a Whitebeard live longer, gain experience, later can level up the system. Props also more powerful and more. From the moon civilization inside, find a way for Whitebeard to prolong his life. Kaido looked ahead at the city, the moon civilization authority. Kaido percent opened, obtained everything here. Research for more than a month. Kaido sat on the spaceship and returned to the planet. Also brought Im's body back, waiting for more than a month. Even the group that considered Kaido dead cheered non-stop. Seeing Im's corpse, hearing Kaido's official announcement. The heavenly dragons were completely overthrown. The world welcomed a new era. The entire world celebrated for more than a month. More than a month later, Kaido used ancient weapons to connect the entire world's islands into one, forming a giant kingdom, named One Piece. This was Joy Boy's original hope. This time, Fisherman Island also led to the sea. The group entered the giant kingdom inside ... In total it took about 3 years. The world transformed successfully, a piece of land outside, all is ocean appearance. Take advantage of the moon civilization above science and technology. Kaido let this giant kingdom's productivity explode. The world entered a kind of utopian state, however. There are still pirates in the world, even though it was just a bunch of pirates. King of the Pirates, Buggy.BGSSP Hyde, PX. This title seems like some kind of obsession ... However, on the sea, the Pirate King Buggy, other than fishing, has no possibility of plundering resources. But in the midst of the world merger, there was one more thing. This story caused no small storm. That is the Heavenly Dragon Human Protection event. Countless celestial dragons were brought to the kingdoms that had once been oppressed by celestial dragons, to receive everyone's judgment and punishment. But as the judge, an incident occurred. A marine named Kobe suddenly stood up and shouted to everyone, "The celestial dragons have been defeated. Don't carry out meaningless killings anymore. Don't hurt the celestial dragons anymore. They are innocent." But this is why it's a big deal. It was because Kobe was beaten to death by angry people. The common people killed the Navy, but killed, still hero Garp disciple. However, in the end, Garp came forward after the parties mediated, and the burial of Kobe ended. There was no punishment for any of the perpetrators. Raftel Joy Boy left behind a stone tablet, records, and also announced to the world. The whole world finally understood what exactly is One Piece. Joy Boy, the 100 years of emptiness, when everyone knows. Painfully searching for One Piece, just the name of the once great kingdom, has the meaning of saving all humanity. Can't help but laugh bitterly. The original great secret treasure is this. But the opposite is true. All of humanity has received understanding and salvation. The world has merged together, creating endless wealth, truly a great secret treasure. The world is in this state of peace. 1 year, 10 years, 100 years passed. During this time, Kaido used the Opop no Mi, adding the science and technology left behind by the Moon civilization, to transform Whitebeard's body. To let Whitebeard live, almost forever immortal, originally already plagued by illness. After only a few years of life, Whitebeard suddenly became the longest-lived person. 100 years passed, 200 years, 300 years. Whitebeard bids farewell to a generation and a life. It's not just about collecting countless sons. Grandson, great-grandson, and great-grandson all appeared. Then were similarly sent off by the long-lived Whitebeard. Like's family has countless sons and descendants. Whitebeard, almost every day from white hair to white hair, Old Man Sengoku, Garp. Red hair, Charlotte Linlen, Aokiji, Kizaru. These familiar figures also gradually aged and died. Kaido did not extend their lives because it was not necessary. People want to inherit the legacy of one generation at a time. Last time, they withdrew and a new generation appeared, which makes sense, except for the Kaido system. It can also support the main mission of Whitebeard. 800 years past, the world has been turned upside down. People have long forgotten that great war 800 years ago. The impression of the world to all mankind is that life comes with equality, freedom, and happiness. Even countless people began to complain, the world is so boring. There is no any adventurous possibility. Even some people have read history, knowing that the world was not one before. But there are countless islands, countries. There was also a great pirate era. Everyone ran towards the sea to adventure, looking for treasure. When the people of the time began to admire the past 800 years, they imagined how exciting it would be if they were born back then, also adventuring at sea, searching for treasures. Compared to this boring world today, it would be 100 times more exciting. Kaido could only shake his head at this. People were so miserable before, yearning for peace and happiness, but now people have started to hate the current situation. Reminiscing about the darkness and chaos of the past, human nature is truly a special thing. And it was also this day that 800 years had passed. Level system, level, main quest. Completed, congratulations host, achieved system ultimate achievement. The host can travel through infinite dimensions and infinite universes. There is nothing he cannot do. The system is pushed to the limit. Kaido opened his eyes. Interesting. Let me see if I can return to Earth. Kaido is a time traveler, very nostalgic for his homeland, possible discovery. I can cross dimensions, from the second-dimensional pirate world, back to the familiar third-dimensional world. Moreover, you can freely choose the route. Time, past, present, future, all can go. Kaido can do almost anything before you go. Kaido finds Whitebeard and explains his plans to leave. Whitebeard, Kaido, you really are not from this world. Using special means. letting me live for 800 years. I only saw off my family. All my tears ran dry. I even felt bored with living. I wanted to die. I can turn you back into a normal person. Let you return to your youth, 18 years old, live another life, die at 88 years old. Are you willing? Kaido asked. I now can freely set up Whitebeard in all states. Age, health level, life expectancy limit, you really can do anything. Whitebeard was stunned, feeling emotional. I am mysterious to you. I don't want to know too much. From youth to life, living 70 years, okay. This time, I want to build a normal family, live the rest of my life, the life of a normal person. Are you sure you don't regret it? You are now giving up on your infinite life, Kaido asked. No regrets, Whitebeard said sincerely. Okay, Kaido raised his hand. Whitebeard disappears. He appeared in another place, already an 18-year-old youth. Whitebeard sensed his condition. An excited smile appeared on his face. Life opens again. I want to cherish this beautiful life, experiencing every beautiful moment. Whitebeard is understanding the enjoyment of life. Kaido looked over and said with emotion. Afterward, Kaido opens the dimensional wall. Go to the third dimension, back to Earth. The timeline is the moment I first crossed over, Kaido said. Time tunnel appears before the eyes. Kaido stepped in. Success reaches the third dimension, back to that familiar planet. Kaido had everything he needed, and in a flash, he returned to his home, hiding all his ore so no one could detect him. This is familiar home, familiar room. The ground is covered with used toilet paper. In the drawer is an indescribable figure. The bed is unbearably messy. Suddenly, a series of footsteps came. A very familiar-looking young man entered the bedroom. Kaido looked at him, and he passed through him. Just found myself hurriedly sitting in front of the computer desk. Pirate King update on. Don't look at the film first. First read the latest manga chapter and then talk. Passing through Kaido. The mouse clicked a few times, focused its mind and looked over, then cursed loudly. Damn it, Luffy couldn't beat him so he turned on the hack, right? What the hell is a nick of fruit? It's so unfair. And Kaido too. Why didn't he use a knife? If I were Kaido, I would definitely kill Luffy. Kame, the intelligence of the people in the manga is really low. Why wouldn't I be Kaido? Let me turn into Kaido. I'll teach you guys how to do things. See, Kaido was surprised. I also transmigrated into Kaido because of this. I forgot. Kaido scratched his head, then approached and passed through himself. Since you hope to transmigrate and become Kaido, I will help you a little. Kaido extended his hand. Instantly, the young man disappeared from the computer desk. Another world. Kaido looked at himself in shock. I fucking transmigrated into Kaido. Three-dimensional world, in the bedroom. Kaido teleported himself away, his eyes looking in a certain direction. In a flash, Kaido switched to another country. In some mansion inside, a middle-aged man, right in the middle of a pile of manga manuscripts, sketched a little curve. One side sketched the curve. He leaned towards the other side to inhale. The body is getting worse and worse. If not continued, the physical condition and motivation will quickly decline. The middle-aged man sighed. More than 20 years of serializing a manga here. Sometimes it's really boring. Really want to stop publishing it and go out for a tour. But this year has been a long break. AI speed up the progress, finish it soon. I also want to enjoy life. Well, Garp can just go offline like this. Don't even think about the script. Just match up with Whitebeard. This place gives Garp a knife, exactly like Whitebeard, although it is lazy plagiarism. But the readers will definitely say, this is the feeling of fate. Kobe became the good Garp second, finally exerted some strength. Yeah, that's how it is. Follow the script in front of you. Come again, pretend it's fate, then it's good. Fate is really a good thing. I like fate. The middle-aged man kept laughing darkly. Kaido stood behind him, completely silent. To the middle-aged man's head, plucked one. Oh, it hurts. The middle-aged man turned around in panic, but there was nothing behind him. What happened? Is it an illusion? How did someone hit his head? He must not have had a good rest recently. Still considering stopping publication for a week. Yeah, anyway, there are serious physical problems. Night. Middle-aged man sleeping soundly. He made a nightmare. I only saw myself manga character Kaido. In my dream I grabbed him and beat him until he was numb. Then threatened him to draw manga really well, not to miss traveling and resting every day, to be worthy of maintaining my fans, the middle-aged man painfully pleaded. His body condition was indeed not good. Even if he wanted to draw, he was powerless. But Kaido actually promised him that he would be healthy and fine, and that he could continue to draw good manga. Want to preserve the quality of the painting. Do not want to cut corners on raw materials. No need to follow the script in front of you. Just say whatever fate feels like. Let me think about the script carefully, you bastard. The middle-aged man on the bed was sweating profusely and frowning. After a moment, the middle-aged man woke up with a start. Sitting on the bed, gasping for breath. How? His family was scared and came to ask him quickly. I draw manga characters. Come warn me to improve the quality. Draw good manga ... to scary. The middle-aged man wiped the sweat from his forehead. You actually warned me not to be lazy. I really have never had a nightmare before ... double quotes. It was supposed to be just a nightmare. But it was very fast. The middle-aged man was shocked to discover that his body was actually extremely healthy. All the pain, all the discomfort, nothing remained. Go to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor also said that he was as healthy as an 18-year-old young man, with no problems at all. Dreams are real. The middle-aged man was shocked. How could this be, didn't I say? I really can't be lazy. I have to think carefully about the script to ensure quality. Drawing for more than 20 years and still having to work so hard, my head is about to split open. I really want to rest ... double quotes. The world is so huge. Kaido examined whether he could advance to the dimension. Only can't think of any. There are places that can't be reached. Let's just wander around, infinite cosmic dimensions within. Kaido's figure, eternally passing through, complete set.